0.79 divided by 15, and this will be close to 4.8.
Bromide electrophile will attack. This is more electro releasing because of the resonance. It is donating electron via resonance. NC0 is first term, NC1 is second term, so NC6 will be the seventh term.
Hello, dear students. My name is Vikas Agarwal, and I'm here to discuss the physics section of JMMT-07. Let's begin. So the first question says that a hairpin-like shape, as shown in the figure, is made by bending of a long current carrying wire. What is the magnitude of magnetic field at point P, which lies at the center of the semicircle? So, guys, point P. Okay, point P is this point. Okay, it is shown a bit distant, but that would be point P. Okay, and now we have to find out the magnetic field at the center of this. Okay, so this would be a semi-infinite wire. This would be a semi-infinite wire, which will produce a magnetic field at P in the inward direction. Let me call it as B1. All right, let me call this wire as 1. So that would be the contribution of this semi-infinite wire. Similarly, the other semi-infinite wire, you can see that it will also produce an inward magnetic field. Let's call it as B2. And you might have already guessed it that B1 will be equal to B2 because both are semi-infinite wires and both lie at the same perpendicular distance from point P. Okay, and then this would be a semicircle. All right. So again, its contribution would be inward only, and so we need to add all the three. We need to add all the three. So to get the net value of magnetic field at B, I will write the contribution from one infinite wire, semi-infinite wire. That would be mu naught I by 4 pi r. Okay, I will multiply it with 2 because this and this they are equal. Okay, and then I have to write the contribution from the semicircle, which would be mu naught I by 4r. Okay, so that would be the contribution from the semicircle. Okay, so the correct answer here is going to be mu naught I. Okay, so mu naught I by in all the options I see there is a pi in the denominator, so I will preserve the pi in the denominator. Let me take out as mu naught 4 pi as outside, so this will become 2 plus pi, and we do see that one of the option matches, so option B would be the right option. Okay, so that was question number 51 and the first question of physics. Now we come to the second question of physics. Now, this question says the four arms of a Wheatstone bridge have resistance as shown in the figure. A galvanometer of 15 ohm resistance is connected across B and D. Calculate the current through the galvanometer when a potential difference of 10 volt is maintained across AC. Now, what is important here is to first note that the ratio of these two, all right, that would be 5 by 3, which is not equal to the ratio of these two, which would be 2. That means it is not a balanced Wheatstone bridge. It is an unbalanced Wheatstone bridge, and therefore the galvanometer will show some reading. And in any case, I do not see any zero in the option. All right. So that was another hint that if the question is right, then there must be some current through the galvanometer. So how to do these questions, guys? We need to first distribute the potential. So let me assume that this point is at a zero potential. So all these points will have a potential of 0 volt. And this point, the other side of the battery will have a potential of 10 volts. So all these points have a potential of 10 volt now. Let me call this as, let's say, V2, and let me call the potential of D point as V1. Okay, so V1 and V2 are the two unknowns, and we would want to find out the value of V1 and V2. And to do that, I would be writing some equations. Okay, so let me start from this point, from this node. So I will write the net outflowing current from this node. All right, I will write the sum of these currents and I will equate it to 0. How am I going to do that? So V2 minus 10, V2 minus 10, that's the potential difference between B point and A point divided by 100. Okay. Similarly, the resistance of the galvanometer is given to be 15 ohm. So I'm going to write V2 minus V1 divided by 15. And then I'm going to write V2 minus 0, all right, divided by 10. And all of this is equals to 0. Now I need to simplify this. So 100, 150, and 10. So let me make 300 as the common denominator. Let me make 300 as the common denominator. So this will become 3v2 minus 30. Okay, and this will become 20 times. So 20v2 minus 20v1. And then here it will become 30v2. Okay, 30v2 is equals to 0. So from here, what we can get is that 3v2 plus 20v2, 23 plus 30. That is 53v2. 53v2 minus 20v1, okay, is equals to 30. So that becomes my first equation. Okay, so that becomes my first equation. Now I need another equation, and to write another equation, I'm going to make use of this point D. Again, I'm going to write the net outflowing current from this point. So I'm going to write V1 minus the potential of A was 10. So V1 minus 10 divided by 60 plus V1 minus V2 divided by 50. That's the current going in the galvanometer in the upward direction. That is from D to B. Okay, and the third term would be V1 minus 0 by 5 equal to 0. And again, here I see that 60 can become the common denominator. So I will multiply this entire equation with 60. All right. So that will give me V1 minus 10 plus 4V1 minus 4V2 plus 12V1 is equals to 0. So this then becomes a 5V1 plus 12V1, that is 17V1. Okay, 17V1 minus 4V2 is equals to 10. Okay, so that becomes my second equation. So we have two equations now, and we need to solve these equations to get the value of V1 and V2. To do that, what I can do, here I can see that the coefficient of V1 is 20, here it is 17. So let me multiply this entire equation. Okay, let me multiply this entire equation with 17, and let me multiply this entire equation with 20, and we'll see what happens then. Now, 1553 into 17, that would be 901 V2. This, although I know it's going to be 340 V1, so minus 340 V1, and from here we are going to get plus 340 V1. They are going to get cancelled. So, anyways, I'm saving the effort of writing these. Let's ignore that. From here, we are going to get minus 80 V2 on the left hand side when I add these two equations. So, on the right hand side, we will get 70 into 30, 17 into 30. So that would be 5 and 0, and then 20 into 10, that would be 200. Yeah, all right. So therefore, now V2 becomes 7110 divided by 721. Okay, you can check the calculations also. So that becomes 710 upon 721, and this number, when we calculate it, it comes out to be around 0.864. So you've got the value of V2. Now you can substitute V2 in either equation 1 or equation 2, and when you do that, you will get the value of V1 as 0.79. All right, I'm saving the calculation efforts, guys. You can confirm this by yourself. So next, you've got the value of V1, you've got the value of V2. That means you know this point, you know this. So it's easy to find out the current through the galvanometer now. Let me do it here. So the current through the galvanometer now would be V2 seems more than V1, so V2 minus V1. So we also know that the current in the galvanometer will be in the downward direction, divided by 15. So that will become 0.864 minus 0.79 divided by 15. And this will be close to 4.8 something something milliampere. All right. So here are four options. These are, the numbers here are same. Only the difference of micro and milli is there. Here also the numbers are same. Only the difference of micro and milli is there. I'm getting something which is close to 4.8 milliampere. So I'm going to mark option C as my answer. So that is how you were supposed to do this question. So yes, this question was a bit lengthy. An unbalanced Wheatstone bridge will always take some time to solve. All right. The important thing is that you should know how to solve it. You should also be aware of that the solution is going to be this much long, so that you don't give up midway between the solution thinking that you've committed some error. And yes, there are good chances of committing error in these questions, because you have to write equations very carefully. If there is a mistake in writing in your equation, then whatever time you are investing after that, it is all going to get wasted. So ensure that you have written the equation correctly. Maybe double check the equations before you start solving them. And once you have done that, you have solved them, then there's no reason that why you will not get the answer. Okay. Now, moving to the third question. It says two identical blocks A and B of mass M resting on a smooth horizontal floor are connected by a light string of natural length L. The spring constant K. The third block C of mass M moving with the speed V along the line joining A and B collides elastically with A. The maximum. So guys, here there are two things that you need to understand. C and A have the same mass, and they collide elastically. So after the collision of A and C, what will happen is that the velocities will get interchanged. So A will start moving with V and C will come to rest. So this is what is going to happen. And by this time, the block B is still at rest, because they are connected by a spring. Spring cannot exert impulsive forces. So the moment A received the impulse from C, we wouldn't have received the impulse at that very moment, because the spring it cannot exert impulsive forces. Now this is the situation. Now the question is asking for the maximum compression in this rate. Now guys, there is a direct formula to calculate the maximum compression. Some of you may not be knowing it, some of you may not be knowing it. Those of you who are not knowing it, let me tell it to you. So let's say if you have two blocks, one of mass m1 moving with the u1, then let's say they are connected with the spring, and at this very moment, uh, the other block has the speed u. Okay, so how to write the kinetic energy of this system? The kinetic energy of this system is written as half, and then reduced mass. Reduced mass is m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2. Okay, half into reduced mass into u relative. That means the relative velocity between the two, square. So plus half total mass into VCM square. So this is how we write the kinetic energy of a two block system. Okay. Now, so let's try to understand this. At this very moment, they have maybe separate velocities, all right. But at the instant when the spring would be maximum compressed or maximum elongated at that moment, all right. Whether it is maximum compression or whether it is maximum elongation, what is the identity of that instant? What is the identity of that moment? The identity is that at the moment when the spring is under maximum compression or maximum elongation, both the blocks move with the same velocity. Mind you, I'm saying same velocity, I'm not saying the same speed. That means they move with the same speed in the same direction, all right, and therefore that speed needs to be VCM, all right, because if both have the same speed, then the center of mass will also be having the same speed. So in this moment, let me call this as instant one. Let me call this as instant two. So if I write the kinetic energy at the instant two, okay, if I write the kinetic energy at the instant two, so that would be half into reduced mass. This entire thing is reduced mass into U relative square, which is zero, plus half mvcm square. So you see that in this position, let's say whatever was the kinetic energy or whatever was the energy stored in spring right now, all right, at this very moment, let U1 be the energy stored in spring, and here it would be U2. So we can write that K1 plus U1 will be equal to K2 plus U2. And when you do that, you notice that this term is going to get cancelled. On the K1 side, on the K2 side, this term is going to be the same because VCM doesn't change in this question, in these situations. All right. So ultimately, what we are left with is this half into M relative, M reduced into U relative, okay, into U relative square. Plus, if there is any energy in the spring, then and that this entire thing becomes the final energy of the spring, or it becomes the energy of the spring at the maximum compression or the maximum elongation. In the present question, the moment when A acquires the speed V, at that very moment the spring is under its natural length. So even this would be zero. So it's actually, what, like I took so much of time because I was explaining all this to you. Otherwise, a student who is aware of this, of this entire thing, he will probably solve the question within 50 seconds. How? Half into reduced mass. Reduced mass of two equal masses is m by 2. So m by 2. U relative is v square because v is not moving, a is moving. So u relative is v. Okay, and this should be equal to half kx square, and this will give you the value of x. So half and half gets cancelled. So we are looking at like a maximum compression or elongation that would be given by m by 2k root of this multiplied by v. So m by 2k root of this entire thing into v. Okay. So A option looks like to be the correct answer. Okay. Also, guys, just when I see the options now, I notice that I do not think that any other option is correct dimension wise also. So in case if you are not able to solve this question in the exam, you can very well go for the dimensional analysis also, and you can figure out the right option. So keep that in mind, guys. Okay. So the right answer here is option A. Next, we move to fourth question. It says two identical photocathodes receive light of frequency F1 and F2 if the velocities of the maximum energetic photoelectrons coming out are V1 and V2. That's pretty simple. We write the maximum energy of the electron as energy of the photon minus the work function. All right, so half m1 v1 square will be equal to h into f1 minus phi, and similarly half into m2 v2 square will be equal to h into f2 minus phi. We need to eliminate phi from here. So we can just take the difference. And when we do that, we end up getting half. And this M1 and M2, they're both masses of electrons. So actually, they are same. So half M and then V1 square minus V2 square is equals to H into F1 minus F2. So if we are looking for relation among the velocities, V1 square minus V2 square will be equal to 2H by M and then F1 minus F2. So V1 square minus V2 square is equal to 2H by M. A option looks to be the correct one. All right. So that was fourth question for you. Next, we go to question number five. Okay. So this question says that if E be the total energy of a satellite moving around the Earth, then its potential energy. Now, guys, let's before we read the options, let's first just recall the relation among the energy. So the relation is that the total energy. Okay, the total energy is negative. The total energy is negative. Mod of it becomes equal to the kinetic energy, which is actually mod of potential energy, half of that actually. Okay, and this value is G capital M small m by 2 times the radius. So this is the relationship that we have in energy. Okay, R is the radius of the orbit. Okay, so if E be the total energy of the satellite moving around the Earth, then its potential energy would be E by 2. No, actually, it's like this is a false statement. If it would have been 2E here, then that would have made it a correct statement. So right now, statement 1 is wrong. Okay. Now, the kinetic energy of the satellite revolving the orbit is equal to the half the magnitude of the. Again, this is wrong. It is not equal to half. It is equal to the magnitude of the. Like the K is equals to E. So this is also wrong. So both the statements are wrong. And Therefore, option B should be the correct one. Okay, as we can see here. Next, we go to question number 56. It says a sphere of mass 2 kg and radius this much is rolling with an initial speed of this much goes up an inclined plane which makes an angle 30 degree without slipping. How long will the okay guys? So in this question, what is important is that if something is sliding on an if a round object is there on an inclined plane and there is no slipping taking place and there is no other force also, then the acceleration of this of this body, the acceleration of this body is in the downward direction, even though it may be going upward, but the acceleration will be downward. Okay, and there's a direct formula that you can use to write this acceleration, and that formula is that g sine theta divided by 1 plus I by mr square. Okay, so this is the formula that you can use. Now, in this case, if I try to find out the acceleration, it will become g sine theta divided by 1 plus 2 by 5. You can see it's a sphere. Okay, so 2 by 5, and therefore the acceleration will become 5 by 7 into g sine theta. All right, so 5 by 7 is nearly 5 by 7. Okay, this g is 10, so 50 by 7, that would become 7.14 around, or maybe 3 also we can add. And then sine theta is half, so the acceleration would be 3.5, 3.57 around. Okay. Now it's a very simple question. So there was an object which was going up with a speed of 1 meter per second, and then it has an acceleration in the downward direction. So how much time will it take to return back to its starting position? So that time is given by 2u by a. All right. So it will become 2 into 1 divided by 3.57. And on doing the calculation, this turns out to be 0.56 seconds. So option C would be the right answer. Okay, so that would be the right answer to this question. Now we go to question number 57. In a Young's double slit experiment, the two slits act as coherent sources of equal amplitude A and wavelength lambda. In another experiment with the same setup, the two slits are sources of equal amplitude and lambda, but are incoherent. So, guys, in the first case, when they let one of the slits produce an intensity I, okay, so the other also produces I. So, when constructive interference takes place, all right, at that moment, what happened? The maximum intensity here, because here constructive interference will happen. So, maximum intensity is given by root of I1 plus root of I2 and square of this. So, this turns out to be 4I. But if the sources are non-coherent, okay, then we don't use the formula for intensity. Like in case of non-coherent sources, we simply add up the intensities. That's it. All right. So in this case, there are two sources of intensity I, so they will simply add up and become 2I. So earlier it was 4I, now it has become 2I. So the ratio of the intensity at midpoint of the screen in the first case to the second case will become 2 is to 1. So option C would be the right one. Okay. Point to remember from this example, the point to remember is that if the sources are incoherent, you simply add the intensity. Okay. And next, we go to question number 58. It says an air bubble of volume 1 centimeter cube rises from the bottom of a lake 40-meter deep to the surface at a temperature of 12 degrees Celsius. The atmospheric pressure is given, the density of water is given, G is given. There is no difference in the temperature of water at the depth. The volume of the air bubble when it. So, guys, it's actually, let's say this is the lake and this is the bottom of the lake. So, there was an air bubble here and it was water everywhere. Okay. So, air bubble means there was air inside the bubble. That's it. Okay. So, it was air here. It was air present here, and this air, let's say it has a pressure of P1, and right now it has a volume V1. Now, when this bubble rises to the surface, okay, its size grows. Its size grows. Why does it happen? Because the pressure is reducing. So the pressure here, let it be P2, the volume be V2. So because the temperature is same everywhere, okay, so we can use P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2. That should give us the volume of the air bubble on the surface. So we are seeking V2. Okay, so how much is P1? P1 would become the atmospheric pressure plus rho gh, okay, into V1, and then P2 will simply become the atmospheric pressure because the bubble has risen to the surface of the the lake. Okay, so that's how we are going to find V2. So here I'm finishing the calculation here. So V2 is equals to P naught. Now P naught is the atmospheric pressure which is given to be 10 raised to power 5 pascals. Okay, so 10 raised to power 5 plus density into G. Sorry, G is only 10. Okay, into depth, which is 40. Okay, this into the initial volume, which is 1 centimeter cube. Okay, divided by the final pressure, which is 10 raised to power 5. So how much does that become? So from here, I can take out 10 raised to power 5 as a common quantity. It will become 1 plus 4. Okay, divided by 10 raised to power 5. So it will become 5 centimeter cube. Okay, so option D looks like the correct answer. So option D would be correct here. Now we move to question number 59. This question says, 1 kg of water at 100 degrees Celsius is converted into steam at 100 degrees Celsius by boiling it at atmospheric pressure. The volume of the water changes from this much as liquid to this much as steam. The change in internal energy of the system during the process will be okay. So let's try to understand what is happening in this question. Let's say this is a container. Okay, let's say this is a container, and this container contained some quantity of water here, like this blue color is water, let's say. Okay, now just for the sake of understanding purpose, let's say that we put a thin layer, a very thin and light piston over it. Okay, a piston of negligible mass. If you want to imagine that piston, you are having a difficulty imagining this. Imagine, a layer of a polythene, a layer of plastic that we have kept over the surface of water. Okay, just imagine a layer. So that's your massless piston. The purpose here is to keep the vapor of water below the polythene layer separate from the atmosphere, so that it becomes easy for us to imagine what is happening. So if you are able to imagine this, then you will agree with me that when we boil this water and the water gets converted into the vapor, okay, then that vapor will push this piston up, and therefore the atmosphere will also get displaced. Okay, now we will be having liquid here. Okay, we would be having vapor here. Sorry, liquid vapor here. Okay, so what we have effectively done is that in this boiling process, the piston got shifted by this much amount. Okay, the piston got shifted by this much amount against the atmospheric pressure. There was always atmospheric pressure acting from the top. Okay, so the water vapor has to displace this piston against the atmospheric pressure, which means water vapor has done some work. Okay, and this pressure is constant, which is, let's say, P naught. So the work done by water vapor would be P naught into delta V. Okay, so that would be the work done. Okay, heat supplied we can calculate using M into LF, and therefore delta U can be found out by using the first law of thermodynamics. So that is the whole idea. Like, this is what we are going to do. Let's finish the calculation now. So P naught is given to us as 10 raised to power 5, and delta V. How do we calculate delta V? So the question says that the volume of the water changes from this much to this much as steam. Okay, so 1.671. It is like the volumes are given to us. Okay, minus 0.001. Okay, this I've so that becomes the work. Okay, that becomes the work. So let me finish the calculation here. So it will become 1.670 into 10 raised to power 5. So that is 1670. So I've lost three. Okay, so this becomes the work done by vapor on the atmosphere. Okay, now MLF. How much mass was there? 1 kg. Okay, so 1 kg into latent heat of vaporization is 2257. Okay, so let me write it here. 2257 into 10 raised to power 3 joules per kg. Now this kg and this kg gets cancelled. So whatever number we are getting it in joules now. Okay. So this number would be 2257 and then 000 joule. I hope you can see this. 2257 000 joules. Okay, now delta U. How do we find delta V? So that would be Q minus W. So here it's 1.67, or here it's a 1, 2, 3, 22.57 into 10 raised to power 5 minus here it is 1.67 into 10 raised to power 5. Okay, so that is close to how much? Like 0.57, 1.57 is 21. 20.90 into 10 raised to power 5, or you can say 2090 kilojoules. Okay, 2090. So I'm looking for a number which is close to, I got the exact number actually, and this is positive. So option B should be the right answer here. All right, got this, everyone? We understood the solution completely. Okay, now we move to the 10th question of physics. It says the equivalent resistance of resistors in a series combination is smaller than the least resistance used in the combination. I hope that you probably don't need any explanation from this in deciding that this is a wrong statement. It says that if there are two resistors which are connected in series, one is 10 and one is 5, let's say, then the equivalent value of these two would be less than the smaller of the resistors connected here. That is smaller than 5. I think that's wrong. It should be, it has to be larger than the largest one put in this combination. Okay. The resistivity of a material is independent of temperature, which is again wrong, guys. The resistivity changes with temperature. That's not correct. So I guess both the statements are false. So option D should be the right one here. Both the statements are false. Okay. Now we go to question number 61. It says a spherical body of radius this much having a particular density is falling through a liquid of constant density. Okay, the percentage error is the calculation of its terminal velocity. Okay, so we'll have to do this now. So guys, the formula for terminal velocity was somewhat like this: 2 by 9 maybe, 2 by 9, then r square g by eta, and then rho minus sigma. This is the formula for terminal velocity, I believe. So from here, what we can notice is that um, terminal velocity is dependent on radius, and yeah, so the only thing right now we are considering is the radius. Like we have not been given any other information. So we are assuming that there is no error in any other information, and the only error is in the measurement of radius. So from the theory of radius, I'm going to write dv by v is equals to 2 into dr by r. All right. So dr was how much? It's zero point 0.1. Okay, zero point 0.1 mm, and r is 5. And to get the percentage, I will multiply it with 100. So what do I get here? What do I get here? So this becomes 20, and yeah, 4% is correct. So statement one is correct. Okay, so this is correct. Now the terminal velocity of the spherical body falling through the liquid is inversely proportional to its radius. That part is wrong. It is directly proportional to the square of the radius. So this part is wrong. So statement one is true, but R is false. Option D would be the right one. All right, so that was question number 11 for you. Now we go to the next question. The number of air molecules per centimeter increased from this much. The ratio of the collision frequency of the air molecules. So, guys, the collision frequency, okay, the collision frequency is proportional. It's proportional to molecular density. That means number of molecules per unit volume. Okay, so it is proportional. So the question says that the number of air molecules has increased from this to this. So it has become four times. Okay, the ratio of the collision frequency of air molecules before. So the collision frequency will also become four times. So the ratio would be 1 is to 4 or 0.25. So option C would be the right answer. Okay, so option C here is the right answer. Next, we go to question number 63. In AC circuit, an AC circuit undergoes electrical resonance if it contains either a capacitor or an inductor. Now, that's not correct, right? It needs to have both to undergo the process of resonance. So, this is not correct. In AC circuit containing a pure capacitor or a pure inductor consumes high power due to its non-zero. Again, that is wrong. These elements, they do not contribute to average power. So, their presence will not affect, the power consumption. Okay, so choose the correct. See, they don't consume any power, so we can't say that they are high power consuming. So that's not correct. So both the statements are false here. Okay, both statement one and statement two are false. Okay. Next, we go to, okay, so that's it's a simple theory-based question. I think you must have learned this. It's a diode here, and so whenever this point will be at higher potential than this, it will behave as a connecting wire. So there will be a flow of current through the resistor. So and the resistor will behave as if it's directly connected to the source. So the potential difference across, see, if this is the if this is how the variation of this voltage V is there, like let's say call it as V. Okay, then the output across the resistor, the potential difference across the resistor. Okay, how that will happen? So during this half, when this point is at a higher potential, this is at the lower potential, the diode will behave as a connecting wire, and therefore it will be like this. But during the other half, when this becomes negative and this becomes positive, the diode will become like a infinite resistor or an open switch. So no current will flow through the resistor, and therefore there would not be any potential difference. And then now this thing will keep on repeating. So this is what a half wave rectifier is. So this looks correct. Okay, option B would be the correct one. It behaves as a half wave rectifier. Okay. Now question 65. A body cools from 80 to 16.5 minutes. The temperature of the surrounding is 20. It takes time to cool. Okay. So here we are going to make use of the Newton's law of cooling. It says delta T by delta T is equals to K times of Ts minus the average. T average. So this is what we are going to make use of. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let me make a table now. Let me make a table. So T equal to 0 and temperature. Temperature versus time versus temperature. So a body cools from 80. So initially the temperature was 80, and then after 5 minutes it became 60. And then we want to know the time it takes to cool from 60 to 40. Okay, so this is the time we are trying to find out. So I will write the equation first using these two data points. So delta T, let me use I'm going to subtract the lower one from the upper one. So 80 minus 60, lower one minus the upper one, divided by 5 minus 0 is equals to K. Surrounding temperature is given to be 20. So 20 minus the average. Average of these two is 70. Okay. So what we get from here is 20. 20 by 5 is 4. So 4 is equals to K into minus 50. Okay. Don't worry about the negative sign. If you write the equation in the same manner as what you have written the previous one, even the minus sign will take care of itself. So from here we are going to get some value of k. Let it be here. Now I'm going to write the equation using the other two data points, and I'm going to follow the same rule. That means the lower minus the upper. So the upper minus the lower. So 60 minus 40 divided by here. What did I write? Actually, I did a mistake here. Like again, if I commit the same mistake here again, then nothing will happen. But let me not teach you the wrong thing. So I did 80 minus 60 now, so it should have been 0 minus 5. Going by the rule I made, which will make it a minus 4, and then the k will become positive. Right now, upper minus lower divided by upper minus lower 5 minus t is equals to k. K is 1 by 25 now. Okay, 1 by 25. I hope the calculation I'm doing is correct. Yeah. Okay, and then 20 minus t average. Now, average of 60 and 40 is 50. Okay, so from here, what we get is minus 30 by, so minus 6 by 5. Okay, this is 20 and 5 minus t. Okay, so this becomes 5 minus t is equals to 100 by 6 minus 100 by 6. Okay, so the time will become 5 minus, okay, or 5 plus 100 by 6. So that is approximately 130 by 6. So that is this is now keep in mind, guys, these are the times that we considered in minutes. Okay, so what we are getting here is in minutes. Okay, if I can see the options are in seconds also, and one of the option is no, all the options are in second. Okay, so I will convert it into seconds. So 130 by 6 into 60. Okay, guys, I just noticed that here I put one instead of two. So actually, there should be a two also here. Okay, the two, like the k is 4 by 50, so that is 2 by 25. So that will actually make it a 2 here. Okay, so now it will become 5 minus t is equals to 100 by, then again a 2 will be here. Okay, so a 2 will be here, a 2 will be here, a 2 will be here. So this becomes how much? So this becomes 10. Okay, so 1300 by 2. 1300 by 2 is how much? That's 650 seconds. Now, this is uh, no, actually, here I need to do the calculation again. I made a mistake again. So let me just rectify this. Okay, once and for all. Let me redo the calculation. So this will become, this is in minutes. Okay, everything is going on in minutes. So this is 5 minute plus 100 by 12 minutes. Now, guys, remember we have to tell the time it takes from going from 60 to 40. This t represents the time from here. So the answer would be the difference of t and 5. And therefore, I've kept this 5 separate. So t minus 5 would be 100 by 12 minutes. And if we convert it into seconds now, 100 by 12 into 60. So that is 500 seconds. So option A here would be the correct one. Okay, as we can see. Now we go to the next question. A coil of 200 ohm resistance and 1 Henry inductance is connected to an AC source of frequency this much phase angle. Okay, that's simple. The value of resistance is 200 ohm. Let's calculate the value of inductive reactance. That would be omega into L. Omega is written as 2 pi into frequency. So 2 pi into frequency is 200 by 2 pi. Okay, and then L. L is 1. So this becomes 200 ohm. Okay, so R and XL, the resultant would be what, 202. So they are equal, and therefore the phase angle would be 45 degrees. So we don't need to do any more calculations. We can directly mark C as the answer. Now, next question. Given below are two statements. Okay. Electric fan continues to rotate for some time after the current is switched off. Yeah, we see that, right? Once we switch it off, it continues to rotate because of the inertia of motion. I guess that's correct. So A is correct. Yeah, they are correct, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. So option C would be right here. Okay, now an ice cube has a bubble inside. When viewed from one side, the apparent distance of the bubble is 12 centimeter. When viewed from the opposite side, the apparent distance of the bubble is 4 centimeter. Okay, guys. So, but the formula that we are going to use in this case is that, let's say this is a medium interface. Let's say this is a denser medium here, like water or ice. And let's say this is a rare medium air. So if the object is kept in a denser medium and it is viewed from the rarer medium, then what happens is, like, the rays coming from the denser medium, they bend away from the normal after refraction, and therefore the distance from the interface appears to be less. Okay, so the distance of the image from the interface is distance of the object divided by mu. So this is the formula we are going to use. Okay, so let's come to the question now. Now this is a cube here. Okay, the question says that this is a cube, and the cube has 24 centimeter side. So this side is 24 centimeter. Let the object, which is actually an air bubble, be somewhere here at a distance x from one side. So the distance from the other side would become 24 minus x. Okay. Now, when it is viewed from this side, uh, when viewed from one side, the apparent distance is 12. So that would mean x divided by mu. X divided by mu is 12. That is one. Now, when it is viewed from the other side, okay, when it is the object distance is now 24 minus x, and when it is viewed, the apparent distance of the so other side is 4 centimeter. Okay, so we will write 24 minus x by mu is equals to 4. Okay, so we have two unknowns here. We don't know the value of x, we don't know the value of mu, but we have two equations we can solve now. X can be written as 12 mu. So 24 minus 12 mu upon mu is equals to 4, or 24 is equals to 16 mu, or mu is equals to 1.5. So 3 by 2. B option looks to be the right one. All right, everyone. Next, we move to question number 69. It says a 12.5 electron volt beam is used to bombard gaseous hydrogen atom at room temperature. Guys, what you need to know here is that what is the energy difference between the orbits? For example, the energy difference between the first and the second orbit is 10.2. Okay, 10.2. The energy difference between the first and the third one is 12.09, or you can say 12.1 also. The energy difference between the first and the fourth orbit is 12.75. So what we know from here is that if the electron is in the ground state, okay, and we are sending some electrons, these electrons they will only be able to take this electron up to the third orbit. They can't take it to the fourth orbit because they don't have enough energy. Okay, so if this electron jumps up to third orbit, so when it comes down, we can see three spectral lines corresponding to 3 to 2 transition, 2 to 1 transition, or 3 to 1 transition. So these three spectral lines may be visible in this situation. Okay, because the electron can't go to orbit 4, so any transition happening from orbit 4 will not be possible. Okay. Next, we come to this question. Two electrons are fixed at a distance 2d. A third charged proton placed at the midpoint is slightly displaced by distance x perpendicular to the line joining. Proton will execute simple configuration having frequency. Okay. So, guys, the situation here is simple. We have a charge q here, which is actually the charge of electron. We have another charge q here. The distance is 2d. The distance between them is 2d. We place a positive charge here. We displace it by a small amount x here. So when we do that, this electron is also attracting, the net force will be in the downward direction. We have to see if we can prove this net force proportional to x. So how do we do that? Let this angle be theta. So let me first write the value of f. So f would be written as kqq upon. This distance can be calculated by Pythagoras theorem. So root of x square plus d square and square of this. So this is force. This is force. Now, how do we write f net? F net would be, watch carefully, it would be f sine theta into 2. Okay, so we'll do that now. So the value of f we've already written, it is kq square by x square plus d square. Okay, now 2 into sine theta. Sine theta would be x divided by root of x square plus d square. So this force becomes kq square, 2kq square x upon. Here I will take d as the common quantity out, like it is d square plus x square raised to power 3 by 2. Okay, so I can pull out d as the common quantity, so it will become 2kq square x upon d cube, and then we will have 1 plus x square by d square raised to power 3 by 2, which from binomial theorem we can just ignore. We can assume it to be 2kq square into x upon d cube. We can ignore this part. All right, so this becomes 2 by k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So 2k will become 1 upon 2 pi epsilon naught. So I'm writing this 2k, entire thing as 1 upon 2 pi epsilon naught. Okay, then we have q square and then we have d cube. So this is into x. Now this entire thing is your force. To find out omega, we equate it with m omega square x, and from here we get the value of omega. The question is asking us to calculate angular frequency only. So q square upon 2 pi epsilon naught of d cube. Yeah, so this option A is correct. Okay, option A correct. So that was question number 70. Now we come to the numerical section. Let's have a look at this. It says the length of a wire becomes L1 when 100, L1 and L2 when 100 and 120 tensions are applied respectively. Okay. So let's say this is the natural length of the wire. Okay. This is the one end of the wire is 6. And now when we applied a force F1, okay, the length of the wire became L1. When we applied a force F2, okay, the length of the wire became L2, which basically means that in the first case, the elongation was L1 minus L. So F1 should have been equal to K times of L1 minus L. Similarly, F2 should have been equal to K times of L2 minus L. Now the question is asking us for the natural length. Okay, natural length. So we'll divide this. So when we divide it, it becomes F1 upon F2 is equals to K gets cancelled. So L1 minus L upon L2 minus L. F1 was 100, F2 was 120. So 5 by 6 is equals to L1 minus L upon L2. Now L2 can be written as 11 L1 by 10. 11 L1 by 10 minus. So we now just finish this calculation. So let me do it here. So this will become what? Uh, this will become 5 into 11 L1 by 10 minus L is equals to 6, uh, 6L1 minus 6L. So this becomes uh, 5.5 L1, okay, minus 5L is equals to 6L1 minus 6L. Or we can bring this 6L to the other side, so it becomes L is equals to L1 by 2. You can solve it. This is what we're getting. So the ratio, like X, the value of X here is 2. Okay, all right. Next, we go to question number 72. It says a square loop of side dispatch is placed inside a long solenoid that has 50 turns per centimeter and carries a sinusoidal varying current of amplitude this much. The angular frequency is given. The central axis of the loop is the solenoid coincide the amplitude of the EMF. Okay, let's first understand the situation. So there is a solenoid here. Okay, there is a solenoid, and this is the axis of the solenoid. So we have a square loop which is kept somewhat like this inside the solenoid. Okay, the axis of the loop and the solenoid, they are coincident. Now, because of the solenoid, there would be a magnetic field in this direction. So we can clearly see that there would be magnetic flux passing through the square loop. Okay. And the current in the solenoid is a varying current, which will cause the magnetic field to change. And therefore, the magnetic flux through the square loop will change, producing EMF in it. Okay. So if I write the magnetic induction inside the solenoid in terms of the current, it would be mu naught Ni. Okay, now I is given as it says sinusoidally varying current of amplitude and angular frequency. So we can write it as I naught sine omega t. I naught is given, omega is given. I'll substitute the value in the last step. Okay, so this is magnetic field. Now, what about the flux? The flux would be given by B into the area of the square loop. So the side of the square loop is given to us, let it be A. So A square. So B into A square, which means mu naught N I naught A square sine omega t. So that is the flux through the square loop, and the magnitude of the EMF would be mod of d phi by dt. And if I'm talking about the maximum value, then we can see here it will become mu naught n I naught a square. The derivative of this will become omega into cos omega t. But since I'm talking about the maximum value, I can get rid of the cos omega t. So this is the maximum value. This is the amplitude. Now we need to do the calculations. Okay. So how much is mu naught? The value of mu naught is 4 pi into 10 raised to power minus 7 n. N indicates the number of turns per meter. So 50 turns per centimeter. Okay. So it says 50 turns per centimeter. So 50 into 100. So these many turns per meter. Okay. Into I naught. The value of I naught is given to me 2.5. Okay. So 2.5 into a square. A is given to me 2 centimeters. So square of that is 4 into 10 raised to power minus 4. I've converted that into meter square. Omega is given to be 700. Okay, so this is the calculation that we need to finish. Okay, so let's get on to this. Let's try to finish it. Also, pi can be replaced by 22 by 7. The question has told us that we can do that. Okay, here. So let me see. Let me first take care of the zeros. We are looking for answer in terms of 10 raised to power minus 4 volts. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4, 5. So we have 10 raised to power 5. Okay, and this is 10 raised to power minus 11. Okay, so 10 raised to power minus 6 we will be left with. So 10 raised to power minus 6. I've adjusted like all the zeros that I've removed, and this I've taken care of. Okay, now what else is left? Okay, so 4 into 2.5, it's another 10. So let me make it 5. Okay, and then this 7 goes with this 7. Okay, 4 into 5. 4 into 5 is 20. Let me leave the 2 here and let me make this as 4. Okay, so now is there anything else? This 22 is left. Okay, so 44 into 10 raised 44 into 10 raised to power minus 4 volt. So 44 is the answer here. Okay, 44 is the answer. Next, we come to question 73. It says an organ pipe 40 centimeter long is open at both the end. The speed of sound in air is the frequency of the second harmonic. Now, the second harmonic is two times the fundamental. The fundamental is V by 2L. So V by L is going to be our answer. V is this much, and L is given to be 40 centimeter, which is zero point 0.4. Okay, zero point 0.4 meters. So this becomes what? Uh, 900 hertz. Okay, this becomes 900 hertz. So 900 is going to be the answer. Okay. Next, we move to question number 74. It says 64 identical drops, each charged to a potential of 10 millivolt are combined to form. So we have a drop of radius r, charge q, and we have been given that kqr. Kqr is 10 millivolt. Okay. Now, 64 such drops merge to give me a bigger drop, and that bigger drop will have a charge of 64 cube. All right. So, first of all, what would be the radius of the bigger drop? That we can calculate using 64 into 4 by 3 pi r cube is equals to 4 pi by 3 capital R cube. So, from here, we get the value of R as 4 centimeter or 4 times of R. Uh, Centimeter, no, it is 4 times of small r. Okay, so the new potential would be K into 64 Q divided by capital R, which is 4R. So this becomes 16 times of the previous value. Okay, so it will become 160 millivolts. So 160 would be the right answer. Which brings us to the last question. Let's see this. It says glycerin of density this much is flowing through a conical section of a horizontal pipe. So there is a conical section of a horizontal pipe. The area of the cross section at ends are 10 and 5. So if this area is 10, okay, this area is then 5, which also tells me that if the speed here is V, then the speed here would be 2V. Okay, because the area has become half, the speed will become double. The pressure drop across its length is 3 Newton per meter square. The rate of flow of, so we need to find out the volume flow rate. Okay, now let the pressure here be P1, let the pressure here be P2. From Bernoulli equation, we are going to write P1 plus half rho V square is equals to P2 plus half rho 2V square. Okay, watch this. Uh, we are expecting P2B to be less. So P1 minus P2 will become equal to half rho 4V square minus V square is 3V square. So from here we can get the value of V. Pressure difference is given as 3 SI unit. It is 3 SI unit. So 3 into 2 divided by density of the glycerin, which is 1.25 into 10. So 1.25 into 10 raised to power 3. Okay, this is the density. And into 1 by 3 is equals to V square. So V will become root of this, and this gets cancelled. So this can be written as like 2 upon 5 by 4 into 1000. This is 5 by 4. Okay. So the value of V that we are getting, the value of V that we are getting is 8 upon root of 8 upon 5000. Or let me see if I can do some cancellation. So this will become 1250. Okay, this will become 1250. This will become 625. So 1 upon 25 actually, 1 upon 25 meter per second. Or if we want to calculate it in centimeter per second, then it will become 4 centimeter per second. So this is the speed. Now we want the volume flow rate in meter per second. Okay, so the volume flow rate, okay, volume flow rate is given as uh, cross-sectional area, that is 10 centimeters square, into the speed here, which is 4 centimeter per second. So this will become 40 centimeters square per second. We want it in meter cube. So this is 40 into 10 raised to power minus 6 meter cube per second. So this is 4 into 10 raised to power 4 into 10 raised to power minus 5 meter cube per second. So the answer should be 4 here. The value of x should be 4 here, as we can see. So that brings us to the close of the discussion of 7th JMMT. I hope you are enjoying the entire test series, and I hope you are enjoying and learning a lot from these solutions. You'll see me again in solution of some other test. Take care, everyone, and all the best.
Hello everyone, now let's start discussing the chemistry portion of your JEE Mains mock test 7. Yes, JMMT-7 started with chemistry only. Let us see the very first question, and I hope this paper, chemistry portion, went really well. Let's check the question. So very first question is from qualitative analysis, right? So which of the following statement is incorrect? So the first one is there is a complex on reaction with ammonium and ammonium hydroxide. What it will form? It will form aluminium hydroxide, the white precipitates of aluminium hydroxide along with the evolution of ammonia. So the first statement is correct. Legged ion. Pb2 positive plus bromide ion will form PbBr2, and the precipitates of PbBr2 are white, not black, so it is indeed a wrong statement. So PbBr2 precipitates will be formed and they are white in color, not black in color, so this statement is incorrect. We got our answer, guys. We still check the other statements. BiI3 black precipitate reacts with water to form orange precipitate, right? The orange precipitates are formed of Bi, and calcium on reaction with this complex, the famous complex, right, it will form the white precipitates of another complex with calcium as a cation, right? So the incorrect statement indeed that we got is B. If you mark B, that means very well done, you are pro in qualitative analysis, which is indeed a tough part to crack. Now the next question, in the following reaction sequence, the major product is, what is the major product here, right? Okay guys, let's check what is the major product and what is the reaction that is happening. So you have this molecule in which I have NH2 and I have CH3. We reacted it with this anhydride, acetic anhydride, and what will be the product form in the first step? What will be A, guys? What will be A? Of course, S. This will be the product at the first step by reaction with AC2O, right? Yes. And now let's have another reagent, bromine, which is electrophile. So as I look at the groups, one is CH3, which is electron releasing group, ortho para directing, and another is also electron releasing ortho para directing group. So where your bromide electrophile will attack, this is more electro releasing because of the resonance, it is donating electron via resonance mesomeric effect. So of course the attack of bromine as electrophile will be on this place, ortho position to this, because para is already occupied. And what will be the product, guys? Then I can surely say that now you can figure out the final the correct answer. That has to be answer should be your A. A for apple should be the answer. Got it, guys? So A for apple should be the product, the major product in the above reaction. They're asking us the major product. I hope you can do it well. Okay, now the next, the pair of lanthanide in which both elements have third high ionization energy. So basically you have to figure out those lanthanides which after losing 2 electrons acquire a stable configuration, right? And we very well know these elements. After losing 2 electrons, they're 2 positive ion, they acquire a stable configuration. So it is very difficult to remove the third electron, and the elements indeed are europium and ytterbium. You can see, guys, europium after losing 2 electrons, it has half-filled configuration 4f7, and whereas ytterbium after losing 2 electrons, while B2 positive is having fully filled F. So stable configuration, now it is difficult to remove the third electron, so they show very high third ionization energies, right? Because of the stable configuration. Next question, guys, which of the glycosidic linkage between galactose and glucose is present in lactose, right? So lactose is a disaccharide of galactose and glucose, so they both join together. And what is the difference between galactose and glucose? Just the configuration around carbon, one carbon, that is carbon number 4, right? So galactose and glucose, they have similar structure except their configuration, they are stereoisomers around carbon 4. So how they are joined, guys? Question number 4, from biomolecules, the first carbon of galactose is joined with the 4th carbon of glucose. The OH on first carbon of galactose and the OH on the 4th carbon of glucose, they just combine, lose water and form a glycosidic linkage. So answer will be C1 of galactose and C4 of glucose. You can see the structure here, guys. This is your galactose and this is your glucose, right? So this is the first carbon of galactose, the OH here, you will have a OH here, and this is the 4th carbon of glucose, you have OH here, right? So they just combine, lose water and form this O linkage here. So galactose and glucose, got it, guys? And what is the difference between the two? The configuration around the 4th carbon. You can see the OH above and OH below in glucose. Got it, guys? So answer, biomolecule. Those who have done biomolecule, I'm sure this question is easy to crack for them. So the answer indeed is A. Now the next question, guys, the product formed in the reaction of cumene with O2 followed by the treatment with dilute HCl. If you don't know this reaction, if you are not able to do this question correctly, that means you didn't even read your NCERT. Very famous reaction in NCERT, and I'm pretty sure everyone, when they study alcohol phenol ether. This study the preparation of phenol by cumene process, right? Yes. So what will be the product formed when your cumene isopropyl benzene reacts with O2 phenol along with acetone? Written in your NCERT, the preparation of alcohol, right? So the answer is of course alcohol along with acetone, that phenol along with acetone, that is answer C. Please guys, very important, make sure if you don't know this, if you didn't do it correctly, that means you didn't put focus on your NCERT. You are supposed to revise, do your NCERT thoroughly again, all the reactions given in the NCERT at least, right? So this is your cumene and this is your cumene, right? So this is your cumene peroxide. On the reaction with the O2, you will get phenol and acetone, right? Yes, done. Okay. So this is your benzene ring, and on benzene ring you have this group, 3 carbon group, that is cumene. Done guys? Done, 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 done. Perfecto. Next question. The IUPAC name of the following compound is, what is the IUPAC name of this compound? So you can see the 2 functional groups here. One is carboxylic acid, another is aldehyde. And as per the priority list, the carboxylic acid is the first, right? The first one, this is the principal main group, and your CHO will act as a substituent, right? So my the parent chain will start from here. This should be the first carbon. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the parent chain, and this is how we should number the carbon atoms of the parent chain. So it will be 2, 5 dimethyl 6. Now it acts as a substituent. So we'll write it in a prefix. 6-oxo, right? 6-oxo. The parent chain has 6 carbon hex, 3-enoic acid, right? So what should be the answer, guys? What should be the answer out of all the options? It has to be B. 2,5-dimethyl 6-oxo. We'll write oxo because the carbon of CHO is being counted in the carbon atom of the parent chain, right? Hex 3-enoic acid. I hope you mark the correct answer, guys. That is the answer B. Question based on IUPAC naming. Let's move on to the next question now. pKa of a weak acid and a pKb of a weak base are given to you. The pH of their salt, direct formula application, salt hydrolysis. If you have a salt of weak acid and a weak base, the pH is given by 7 plus half pKa minus half pKb. Ka and Kb are given to you, guys. Just put the values in the formula. So salt hydrolysis, how to calculate the pH of various salts, right? That you are supposed to know. Ka is given, Kb is given. Without wasting time, without having any complicated calculation, put the values in the equation, and of course your answer will be 6.9. Got it, guys? I hope everyone should do it correctly. Now the next, match the following. Okay, we have to match the following. Let's check how we can match these. RCOCl2 CHO, COCl2 CHO. How can we go about this? Rosenman reduction. COH. Okay, at alpha carbon we need halogen HVZ reaction, Helvellard-Zielinski reaction, alpha halogenation. So for that we need red phosphorus. And RCO, amide to amine degradation, lesser number, Hoffman bromamide, right? So for Hoffman bromamide, I need these reagents. And now C double bond O should be converted to CH2. Either Wolff-Kishner or Clemmensen reduction can convert your carbonyl to CHO. So Clemmensen reduction. So match, you can see these are the options. Rosenman reduction, HVZ reaction, Hoffman bromamide reaction, and Clemmensen reduction or Wolff-Kishner. But we have the option for Clemmensen, so we'll go with that, right? So these are the match, all the name reaction, important name reaction. Yes, so the answer to this is B. I hope if you did the name reaction nicely, you should be able to crack the question. Now the next question, the volume of 0.02 molar aqueous HBr required to neutralize 10 ml of 0.01 molar aqueous barium hydroxide. Okay, for complete neutralization, equivalents of HBr, the acid, should be equal to the equivalents of base, that is barium hydroxide, for complete neutralization, right? Now, the equivalents, molarity into volume, molarity of HBr 0.02, volume is V, say VML, and valency factor is 1. Molarity into volume into valency factor, that will give you the number of equivalents, guys. That is equal to the molarity, that is 0.01 molar, the molarity of barium hydroxide, the volume of barium hydroxide, I'm taking in ml both side. Here you will get the volume in ml only, and the valency factor is 2, barium hydroxide, 2 OH, one molecule will release. Okay, so you get the equation, just V is unknown, you can figure out solving the same. So the law of chemical equivalence, the equivalence of acid should be equal to the equivalence of base for complete neutralization. And I'm pretty sure by doing this simple calculation, you get your answer as A for apple, that is 10 ml. Got it, guys? Okay, let's move ahead. This reaction I've already discussed in the previous mock test. I hope if you didn't do it there in that test, this test you must have done it, right? Because it is the similar kind of question is already asked in your previous mock test, right? So phenol, the reaction with phthalic anhydride. Remember the reaction of phenol. 2 molecules of phenol on reaction with phthalic anhydride in the presence of acid, they will form phenolphthalein, pink color compound, whose formula is this. 1 molecule of phthalic anhydride reacts with 2 molecules of phenol to form a dye, pink color compound, phenolphthalein. Organic acid, it is a colored compound, a dye, all of these, this is phenolphthalein. Very important. So what answer will mark, guys? All of these are correct. Yes, phenolphthalein. Next question, identify the correct order of reactivity of pair towards the respective. So you are supposed to identify the reactivity, right? So let's check. First, this is 1 degree and this is 3 degree. So you know for SN2 there has to be a back attack of nucleophile, right? So the reactivity order for SN2 is 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree. 1 degree is most reactive and 3 degree is least reactive. So this is the correct order. 1 degree alkyl halide and then 3 degree. So 1 degree alkyl halide will have more reactivity for SN2. Next, SN1, which takes place via carbocation formation. The one with a stable carbocation will react faster, right? So here I will have this carbocation formed, which will undergo resonance. Here I will get this carbocation, which will shift, of course, and do the resonance after shifting only. But of course, the resonance stabilized carbocation. So this is also correct. Next, the electrophilic substitution. Electrophile should attack the benzene ring. So a benzene ring which is electron rich, that will be favored by the attack of electrophile, because electrophile is electron loving. It wants a benzene ring with more electron. So if I have to compare between the two, nitro group is electron withdrawing group, which decreases the electron density of benzene, hence doesn't favor the attack of electrophile. So this is also correct, guys. This is also correct. This should be more reactive because of more electron density on benzene ring. Nucleophilic substitution. Now the opposite case. Nucleophile will get attracted towards that benzene ring which is electron deficient, which has strongly electron withdrawing groups. So out of these two, NO2 is withdrawing group, which will decrease the electron density of benzene ring and hence facilitate the attack of a nucleophile. Right, guys? So all the correct, guys, all the correct options, the orders are given. Let's check out the options they gave us. Okay, so correct answer should be, all are correct. So we'll go with B, Bombay. A, B, C, D, all are correct. Let's check. B is the correct answer, guys, right? A, B, C, D. Next question. Okay, identify the correct 2D representation of the following. This is 3D representation and you are supposed to convert it into Fisher projection, the 2D projections. Okay, how I do it is, let me tell you guys. So this is a CHO. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the OH, right? So I have, this is OH, this is OH, OH. So this is the molecule. How I convert it into Fisher projection? You can do whatever way you do, right? How to convert this into Fisher projection? You might be opting for some other way. So you can do, this answer should be correct, guys, right? Okay, guys. Okay, what I do is, like, let me count number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the chiral carbons are 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So here in the top I have, this is not a chiral carbon, so I will write it as CH2OH. So 3 chiral carbons I have, right? So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So these 3, 1, 2 and 3. Now OH on this side, H on this side. So which is the dash arrow, keep on the same side. The atoms, the groups on the dash arrow keep on the same side. But if the group is on wedge arrow, just make it to the opposite side. So this I will make it here. I will just rotate it to take it here. So OH here. Now S, this is on dash, so keep it on the same side. So this should be the Fisher projection or the 2D projection of this molecule. So you can see this should be the answer. So for question number 12, what should be the correct option? Let's check out what we should mark our answer. All OH on the same side. Yes, let's check guys, what should be the answer? The answer has to be C. Yes, C should be the answer. It matches with our 2D projection, that is C. Let's move ahead to question number 13 based on coordination compound. Okay guys, so first we have this complex, calculate the magnetic moment. To calculate magnetic moment, we need the number of unpaired electrons. So N is the number of unpaired electrons. I hope by now you all know this formula. Many times it is being asked, right? So N is the number of unpaired electrons. So first you can see the 4 ligands are there. In FeCl4, we have 4 ligands. This is a tetrahedral complex. So iron is in plus 2 oxidation state here. And you have a 3d6 configuration, right? 6 electrons, and it is a tetrahedral complex, right? Tetrahedral complex. So this is your E, this is your T2. And 3d6 configuration is there, right? So we have 6 electrons, and Cl is a what kind of ligand it is, guys? It is a weak field ligand, so it will not do any pairing. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Is it the way the electrons are being filled? Please check. And same you can do for next, but next is octahedral, right? The splitting will be T2G and EG, and oxalato is a strong field ligand. Next, again a tetrahedral complex, right? Tetrahedral complex, Mn is in plus 2 oxidation state. Mn is in plus 6 oxidation state here. And of course, just see the how splitting will take place in tetrahedral complex, guys. Please check this out and calculate the number of unpaired electron in each. So just make sure you calculate the correct oxidation state of metal. You see whether the complex is tetrahedral or octahedral, how the splitting will take place, right? And you should definitely see whether the ligand is a strong field ligand or a weak field ligand, whether it will do pairing or not. Yes, guys? Done. So this way the electrons are being filled here, the configuration. So how many unpaired electrons in this? We have 4 unpaired electrons here. Similarly, we will go for cobalt ion. Here cobalt is in plus 3 oxidation state, and it has a strong field ligand where the pairing will take place, right? Cobalt plus 3, guys, cobalt plus 3. Yes, cobalt plus 3, again 3d6. But it is an octahedral complex, so we have T2G below, and the pairing will happen. So all the electrons are paired, no unpaired electron. Next, Mn. The oxidation state of Mn, I just told you to calculate, that is plus 6, Mn plus 6. So very easy, just 1 electron that has to be unpaired. And so I hope you got your answer. The maximum number of unpaired electron is in this complex, then Mn, and then 0. All are paired, diamagnetic, strong field ligand, 6 electrons, right? So what should be the answer, guys? It has 4 unpaired electrons, so 4 point something, 0, 1 unpaired means 1 point something, right? So after solving this quickly, you can figure out your answer as A for apple. Got it, guys? So that is your answer, A for apple. Perfecto. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. Question number 14. Okay. So we have this cyanide here and OCH3 on this, and we reacted it with phenyl magnesium bromide, that is Grignard reagent 1 equivalent, and followed by hydrolysis. What should be the product here? Of course, I hope you all know cyanide when reacts with Grignard reagent forms, because we are just using 1 equivalent, right? So it will form ketone, cyanide, CN group on reacting with Grignard reagent form ketone, and ketone will further get attacked by Grignard reagent, resulting into the formation of tertiary alcohols. But as it is written in the question itself that we are just using one equivalent of your Grignard reagent, so just convert your CN to CO, CN to CO and C6H5. Phenyl will be there from the benzening that will attack, right? So this is the C6H5 negative that will attack on the cyanide, right? So very pretty simple, guys. The option that will mark is D donkey. D donkey. CN will become CO, C6H5. We are just using one equivalent, so we keep it as a ketone only, not further attacked by Grignard reagent to form alcohol. So the answer indeed is D donkey. Very, very, very important Grignard reagent reaction, guys. Make sure that you all do them. Okay. Which of the following complex will not show geometrical isomerism? Cis and trans, geometrical isomerism, which cannot show cis and trans. So in every session, whenever there is a question on isomerism, I always say there are beautiful tables counting the stereoisomer, optical and geometrical, given in your JDE, the Indian edition for JEE Advanced inorganic book. Definitely go through, right? So we have this glycinato ethylene diamine, and you can clearly see we have En. This can show cis and trans. Glycine, chlorine, this can also show cis and trans. And GLY, from the various bonding set, it can also show cis and trans. The one that cannot show cis and trans is because there is one ethylene diamine ligand. There is only one way of arrangement, and 4 SCN negative, all are same. So wherever you put En, the configuration with respect to each other remains the same, right? Just the one way of rearranging the ligands around the CMA, because we have 4 similar kind of ligands here and one bidentate ethylene diamine bidentate symmetrical ligand. So the complex that is C, you can see if it is possible, this is the structure to form any other arrangement where we can call it cis or trans. So this is the answer, pretty easy, C, right? The only possible arrangement. Okay. Now the electronic configuration of elements are given and we are given with the ionization energy. So we have to match the data. Okay, let's check. 1s2, 2s2. This is beryllium. 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. This is oxygen. This is nitrogen configuration. This is boron. We know. As we move along the period, the ionization energy increases. But because nitrogen has half-filled configuration, more stable, so its ionization energy is more than oxygen, whereas beryllium 1s2, 2s2 stable configuration, so it has more ionization energy than boron. The world famous cases, exceptional cases in ionization energy trend. So now you can match. The highest value should be for that 1314 should be for nitrogen, right? Yes, perfecto. And then the second high is that, 1402. This is the highest value. 1402 is the highest value. That should be for nitrogen. This is for oxygen. This is for beryllium, and that should be for boron. So I hope you get your answer correctly, guys. Yes, the trend. You are not expected to know the value. You are just expected to know the trend, guys. Yes. So this was the question based on the ionization energy value. So I hope you can get your answer correctly matching the data, guys. Yes, this was question number 16. So for one, the highest for nitrogen, that means for C it should be 4. For B it should be 3. Right? So the answer indeed is A. That is matching. Yups. So the answer is A. Got it, guys? A. I just told you the order. Half filled, fully filled. Now the next question. Consider the following statement arranged in the order of true or false. Okay. Vapor pressure is a colligative property. No. Relative lowering of vapor pressure is a colligative property, not just the vapor pressure. So false. Boiling point of a solution is always higher than that of pure solvent. No, this is only true if the solute is non-volatile or having vapor pressure lower than the pure solvent. So it is not always true. So again, it is a false statement. Acetic acid undergoes dissociation in benzene. No, acetic acid undergoes association in benzene, not the dissociation. It just undergoes the association in benzene, right? The molar mass, okay. So the acetic acid goes association in benzene and dissociation in water. This is also a false statement. Now the last but not the least, the entropy of solution is more than that of a pure solvent. Entropy of solution is more than that of pure solvent. Of course, this is a true statement. So for question 17, what will mark? False, 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 true. So what should be the answer? Of course, the answer will be B. Alright, so B is the answer. Next question. Which of the following is an example of a redox reaction? Which of the following is an example of redox reaction where there is a change in oxidation state? Where is a gain or loss of electron? There is a redox reaction, right? Okay. So the oxidation state here is +6, xenon. This is also +6. There is +6. This is also +6. There it is +4 and here it is +6. The oxidation state of xenon is changing. Here xenon is in +2 oxidation state and here also +2. So C is the option in which the oxidation state of xenon is changing from +4 to +6. Got it? The change in oxidation shows the electron transfer, that is a redox reaction. So we'll mark our answer, quickly mark our answer as C. Next question. The electron in the hydrogen atom undergoes transition from higher orbital to orbital of radius. So radius of the orbital is given to us in picometer. This transition is associated with which series? Okay, that means I am supposed to know electron comes to which n, right? Okay, so radius of the orbital is given, that is 0.529 n square by z. That is the radius, Bohr radius formula. Let me write 529 n square by z angstrom, right? So this radius is given to us in picometer, so we'll convert it into angstrom. So this is the angstrom. 1 picometer is 10 to the power minus 12 meters, whereas 1 angstrom is 10 to the power minus 10 meters. So I just converted into angstrom. 0.529 n square by z, because it is a hydrogen atom, so z is 1, right? Yes. So I can see n square coming out to be 4 approximately. That means the n, the orbit number, shell number is 2. If n is 2, electron is coming to second orbit. So which series it belongs to? If n1 is 2, it belongs to Balmer series, right? For Balmer series, the lines or wavelength belonging to Balmer series, n1 value is the electron comes to second shell or the second orbit. So the answer will mark is B, right? And I'm sure you mark the same. Next question. Okay, again we have our organic reaction here. Okay, very common reaction I can see here. So we have this double bond, we have this halogen, and we can see a strong base NaNH2. What it will do? It will form alkyne. So we get alkyne here, right? I hope these reactions are given in NCERT, hydrocarbon, alkyne formation. So what I will get after reacting with NaNH2, what I will get? Right? This is formed after the first. This is single bond. Okay, this alkyne is formed. Now red hot iron tube, always click. The 3 alkynes, they will trimerize, they will join together to form a benzene ring, and because we have CH3, so we got mesitylene, right? Yes, if CH3 is not there, we just have 3 acetylene, then we'll get benzene ring, D option, but we have CH3 here, so we get the C answer. Yes, so reactions very much given in NCERT, hydrocarbon, important also, so you will mark your answer as C. Got it, guys? That should be the answer. Okay. Now comes the numeric value question. A solution of sugar is obtained by mixing 200 gram of its 25% solution and 500 gram of its 40% solution, both by mass. The mass percentage of resulting sugar solution is. So we need in final solution, which is formed by mixing 2, the mass of sugar upon the mass of solution. Let's check out. I have solution 1, which is 200 gram and 25% by mass. That means if I take 100 gram of this solution, I will get 25 grams of sugar, right? But now I'm taking 200 gram of this So if I take 200 gram of this, I will get 50 gram of sugar from it. 50 gram sugar from solution 1. Now solution second, how much sugar I am getting from solution second? I have taken 500 gram of 40%. That means if I take 100 gram, mass by mass percent means 40% by mass means if I take 100 gram of this solution, 40 gram is the mass of solute, that is sugar. So 100 gram has 40 gram sugar, so 500 gram will have 200 gram of sugar. So total sugar that we got from second solution is 200 gram. So now the percentage, mass percentage of sugar in the resulting solution, the final solution, the mass of sugar in it, 200 plus 50, the total sugar amount is this. This is the solute divided by mass of solution. We mix two solutions, 200 gram, 500 gram, the total mass of solution is 700, right? 200 gram of one is mixed with 500 gram of another. So this is the mass of sugar divided by the mass of solution into 100. You will get the mass percentage, right? I hope without wasting much time, you did it this way, right? And you should definitely mark your answer because it is a numerical value and they have written in the nearest integer. That is 36. Got it, guys? So 250 divided by 700 into 100. Now the next question. So as we just see this kind of table, we get to know they are asking about the order or the rate law, right? So chemical kinetic. So there is this reaction in which NO and Cl2 are the reactants, right? And there is this data given to us. The concentration of NO and Cl2 is given, and what is the rate of change in this concentration? The data for the rate is also given, right? So they are asking the overall order of the reaction. Okay. So rate of reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of NO raised to power X and the concentration of Cl2 raised to power Y, and we are supposed to calculate this X and Y. X plus Y is the overall rate of the reaction, right? Okay, now. Okay, so initially NO was 0.1, Cl2 0.1, rate was 0.18. Perfect. Now, when the concentration of NO kept the same and the concentration of Cl2 is doubled, 0.1 to 0.2, you can see the rate also becomes double. On changing the concentration of Cl2, I am making it twice. That means the rate also becoming double. That means this power should be 1. If it is X, it is X. If it is 2X, it becomes 2X. Keeping this constant, of course. Keeping this same, right? Now, let's move ahead. Okay, if we keep this same 0.2, 0.2, initial the rate was 0.35. Now it becomes 4 times. By just doubling the concentration of NO. Cl2 remains same, but NO2, if I double the concentration of NO2, how it impacts our rate? The rate becomes 4 times, 0.35, it becomes 1.4. That means this power should be 2. This X should be 2 because if it is X, this X is 2X, the rate will become 4X, 4 times. The power should be 2, 4 times, right? So X, the order with respect to NO is 2, the order with respect to Cl2 is 1. That means the overall order of the reaction should be X plus Y. That has to be 3. I hope you marked your answer as 3. Very oral question, guys. I don't think you need any pen or paper to solve this kind of question, right? So the answer has to be 3. Now let's move on to the next question, guys. The next question. The number of species from the following which have square pyramidal structure is. So VSCPR based. Let's see. PF5. 5 bond pair around the central atom, sp3d hybridization, trigonal bipyramidal. This one, okay. So BRF4, bromine F4. It is square planar sp3d2 hybridization, 4 bond pair, 2 lone pair. So square planar, 2 lone pair, 4 bond pair. So it will be planar. Now this is 5 bond pair, 1 lone pair, sp3d2 and 5 bond pair, 1 lone pair. It is square pyramidal. So this will be square pyramidal. And it will also be square pyramidal the same case. It will also be square pyramidal, 5 bond pair, 1 lone pair. Yes. Now the next. Xenon, Xe, double bond O. Fluorine. Xenon is a noble metal, 8 valence electron. So total 8, right? 1 lone pair and these 5 bond pair. Again, it is also square pyramidal. ICl4 negative, again square planar, 2 lone pairs, 4 bond pairs, square planar, it is not pyramidal. So how many pyramidal we have? This is square pyramidal, this is square pyramidal, this is also square pyramidal, guys. Right? So square pyramidal. So the answer indeed is, because we are to look for only square pyramidal, you can do it by hybridization or VSEP or whatever way you want. So for square pyramidal, the hybridization has to be sp3d2. So we can get our answer as 3 molecules, IF5, BRF5, XeO4. Done. Okay. Now the next question. For a chemical reaction, delta H is given to you. Entropy change depends upon temperature in Kelvin, and delta S is 2T. Okay. So the minimum temperature at which the reaction will become spontaneous. You know, for a spontaneity of reaction, delta G should be negative, right? So we will use our favorite Gibbs free energy equation. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. And for solving, because I need the minimum temperature, let's keep it 0, because if it is negative, it will be spontaneous. If it is positive, it will be non-spontaneous, and at 0 it will be equilibrium, right? So for calculating the minimum temperature, we can put it as 0 also. Let's put it as 0, the boundary condition. So delta H minus T delta S should be 0, or I can say delta H is 80,000. So 80,000, because kilojoule, I converted into joules, minus T, and this is T, and your delta S is 2T. Delta S is given as 2T, guys. You can see. Yes. Done. Perfecto. So please take care of the units. This is the only thing that you can go wrong with, the units. Yes. So just make sure that you are writing the correct units, guys. Correct units. So the same equation, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Right? Perfecto. So it will be 2T square. 80,000 is equal to 2T square. So very simple to calculate T from this. No complicated calculations here. Right? So I am sure you can calculate T, and you have to mark your answer in the nearest possible, nearest integer, and it is coming out to be integer only. Your T will be coming out to be 200 Kelvin. Square rooting both sides, so you will write your answer as 200 Kelvin, right? Integer 200 Kelvin, guys. Very pretty simple question. The minimum temperature. I'm sure you must have solved these kind of questions before a lot. But just take care of the unit, guys. The last question, yes. A proton and a lithium ion nucleus is accelerated by the same potential. If lambda for lithium and lambda for a proton denote the de Broglie wavelength. So the question is based on de Broglie wavelength of lithium and the proton respectively, then the ratio. Okay, guys. So let me tell you, if a charge Q is accelerated through a potential difference of V volts, what is the de Broglie wavelength? Lambda is equal to, yes, lambda is equal to H by mv, that is the de Broglie wavelength, है ना? And you can write this in terms of the kinetic energy also, right? Yes. Yes, kinetic energy. And if you have a charge particle Q accelerated through a potential difference of V volts, so I can write it kinetic energy is Q into V, right? So I'm going to use this formula for both. Got it, guys? So lambda for lithium and lambda for proton. The ratio I'm supposed to calculate. So this is for proton and this is for lithium. 2Q lithium ion. Let me write. 2 gets cancelled, V gets cancelled. Charge on proton, mass of proton upon charge of lithium ion, and mass of lithium ion. Right? This is you're supposed to, because 2 and capital V, they are accelerated through the same voltage. So just put the value, and of course, please note down this information, what they have given us, right? So this is the information. So please read the question thoroughly, nicely. Yes. Okay. So we are just supposed to put the values. So charge on proton, unit positive or a unit charge, you can say, I can say E. Mass of proton MP. Now the charge on proton is 3 times, 3 positive, na? 3 positive, lithium 3 positive, 3 times the charge on proton, right? Proton has +1 charge, lithium has +3 charge. So this mass of proton and mass of lithium. So mass of lithium is 8.3 times of the mass of proton. Let me write it again. It just got rubbed by mistake. So the lambda for lithium ion upon the lambda for proton, I just wrote it. The charge on proton, the mass of proton, and the charge on lithium ion is thrice the charge on proton, 3 positive, and the mass of lithium as given in the equation is 8.3 times the mass of proton. So of course this gets cancelled, this gets cancelled here, right? And of course by solving this we will get our answer right so quickly. I hope so. This will come out to be 1 by under root of 25 approximately. Yes, guys. Yes, they are asking us the value of x, and this ratio is x into 10 raised to power minus 1, right? So it will come out to be 1 by 5. Yes, and we have to quote our answer in terms of x into 10 raised to power minus 1, right? And I hope you got your answer 1 by 5. So I will get it as 0.2. 0.2, that is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 1. So my x will be, so 0.2. So your x is 2, because your final answer is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 1, and you have to quote your answer as x into 10 raised to power minus 1. Your answer is 0.2. 0.2 is the answer. So we'll quote it as 2 into 10 raised to power minus 1, and the x is 2. So I hope you got it right. Again, a simple, if you know the de Broglie's equation, how to express the de Broglie equation in terms of kinetic energy or potential difference, you can get it right. Nothing to do much in this. So this is done. The paper is done, and I hope you did really well. There are certain things directly from NCERT which are there in the paper. So the best takeaway from this mock test is, if you did those questions rightly, which are specifically picked from NCERT, the reactions are given in the NCERT, that means you have done the things from NCERT nicely. But like vacuum question, right? The other question I told you, if you didn't do those questions correctly, that means you are supposed to read your NCERT again thoroughly, right? So this can be a takeaway from the chemistry portion of this test, mock test 7. So bye, take care. I hope your test went well, and all the best for the another test. Bye.
Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Surendra Jain, Master Teacher of Mathematics in Vedantu. I'm discussing JMMT-07, and this is question number 1 of maths portion. Here we are asked definite integration from 0 to 2 for fx, and we are given certain condition. Now to do this question, what we can do? So we will be writing this as 0 to 2 and 1 into fx dx. And then we'll do integration by parts. Okay, one I will take as second function, this I will take as first function. Why I am taking like this? Because we are given some relation between f dash. So this will become x into fx, limit from 0 to 2 minus integration 0 to 2 and this x, and here f dash x. Now this is obtained directly 2 into f2, and f2 we are given as e square and minus 0. So only this thing we will get from here, minus, here you can use King's rule. Okay, let us call this as I, and let us find this I separately. Now this I will be equal to, if we use King's rule, so 0 to 2, and in place of x it will be 2 minus x, and here f dash 2 minus x is equal to f dash x, so I will write it back to f dash x only. Now this I and this I, if I add, I will get 2I equal to 0 to 2, and I think x into f dash will get cancelled, so we are left with 2 into f dash x only. Okay, this 2 can be cancelled, and then integration of f dash is f, so this will be f2 minus f0. f2 we are given as e square, f0 we are given as 1. So this is the value of I which we are getting, so we will put this I here and we get the answer, e square minus 1. So this becomes e square plus 1. Very interesting question, I think. So answer for this question is D. Moving to the next question, that is question number 27. Yeah, answer was D. Here we are asked possible value of tan inverse. Okay, tan inverse 1 upon 8 of this thing. So what we will do, we will take this sine inverse root 63 by 8 as 4 theta. And then my question is just to find tan theta. Okay, if this is sine inverse root 63 by 8 as 4 theta, I think I can say sine 4 theta is equal to root 63 upon 8. Now the best route to go from 4 theta to theta would be, first we convert this into cos 4 theta, which will be 1 upon 8. And cos 4 theta can be written as 2 cos square 2 theta minus 1. 1 will come this side, and hence this will give you cos square 2 theta to be equal to, I think, 9 upon 16. 9 upon 8 by 2, 9 upon 16. So cos 2 theta becomes 3 upon 4. Now we see, because this 4 theta angle has to be in first quadrant, so 2 theta should also be in first quadrant. So I will only take positive value 3 by 4. Now from this cos 2 theta, we have to find tan theta. So we can use the formula 1 minus tan square theta upon 1 plus tan square theta. Or maybe you can first find cos square theta, then you can convert into tan square theta. So for after this, I think I'll use component to dividendo. So denominator minus numerator, if you do, you will get 2 tan square theta. Denominator minus numerator, so 2 tan square theta, and on the right hand side it will be 4 minus 3. And for denominator here, we will add these two, so it will become 2. So it will be 4 plus 3. So we get tan theta to be equal to, I think, 1 upon root 7. Okay, so tan theta value for this question is B. Answer is B actually. ABC are in AP, and let the centroid of triangle with vertices, this is this, and alpha beta are the roots of this equation. Then we have to find alpha square plus beta square minus alpha beta. Okay, so first of all, for centroid, I think we use property that sum of x coordinates, so it will be 2a plus 2 is equal to 3 times x coordinate of centroid. So from this we get a to be equal to 4. Okay, likewise for y coordinate, it will be 2b plus c is equal to 3 times the y coordinate. We are also given ABC are in AP. So I think 2b can be written as a plus c. 2b can be written as a plus c. If I put it here, we will be getting a plus 2c is equal to 7. In this, a is equal to 4. So we get c to be equal to 3 by 2. C is 3 by 2. And I think we can find now a also. I need a and b for this. I already know a. I need b now. So b will be equal to, from this also we can find a plus c. So that will be 3 plus 4 plus 3 by 2. That is 4 into 2, 8 plus 3, 11 by 2, which gives b to be equal to 11 by 4. Okay, let us once confirm whether we are doing correct or not. So 4, 11 by 4 and 3 by 2 are in AP. That will be 16 by 4, 11 by 4, and that will be 16 minus 5 is 11. 11 minus 5 is 6, 6 by 4. Yeah, that is right. So these are the right values of ABC. Now we have to find this expression, which we will write as alpha plus beta whole square minus 3 alpha beta. Alpha plus beta whole square means it will be minus b upon a whole square minus 3 into, that will be just 1 upon a. So we can take LCM as a square, and we will be getting b square minus 3a here. Okay, now b square is 121 upon 16 minus a is 4, that will be 12 here upon a square, that is 16 here. Okay, so that will be 121 minus this thing upon 256. In denominator it is going to be 256, and what will this be? That is 121 minus, how much is 16 into 12? I think 16 into 6 is 96, so I think it is 192 if I'm not wrong. 12 into 8 is again 96 into 2, 192 I think. Yeah, so 121 minus 92 we have to do, so we are getting minus 71 in the numerator upon 256. Yeah, answer for this question is A. I think that is the method, because nothing else can be done, because we have to use centroid, we have to use sum of roots, so I think this is the method. 29th question. If the coefficient of the 3 consecutive successive terms of binomial expansion are in the ratio 1, 7, 42, then first of these terms. Okay, now please see what I will do. I will take NCR to NCR plus 1, that is the first term of these three consecutive. This ratio is 1/7, and I will take NCR plus 1 upon NCR plus 2, and that will be equal to 1/6. Okay, now NCR upon NCR plus 1, if you solve, I think you will be getting R plus 1 here, and I think N minus R here, and that is equal to 1/7. Likewise, here it will be R plus 2 in the numerator and N minus R minus 1 in the denominator, and that is equal to 1/6. Okay, now what we can do here, I think I can use componendo, not componendo dividendo. Actually componendo dividendo only. So what I will do, I will write in the denominator, please understand, in the denominator, I will write the sum of numerator and denominator. So this is R plus 1, and here sum of this and this will be N plus 1. And this same thing I will do here also, so that will become 8, 1/8. What I have done here, this is actually sum of numerator and denominator. So here also I have done the same thing. Same thing you do here also, R plus 2 upon, take the sum of these two, I think we will get N plus 1 only here, and that will be 1/7. Okay, now from these two, I think we can find N also, we can find R also. I think if we divide these two, okay, so we will be getting R plus 1 upon R plus 2 to be equal to 7/8. That gives R is equal to 6. That gives R is equal to 6. I think that much is sufficient to give the answer, because they're asking the then the first of these terms in the expansion is 6th term or 7th term or 8th term. I think if R is 6, then it has to be 7th term, because NC0 is first term, NC1 is second term, so NC6 will be the 7th term. If the coefficient of the three successive terms are in the ratio, then the first of these terms in the expansion is 6th, 7th term of the expansion. I think some language has to be added. I will get it done. So answer should be B here. Yeah, B. Okay, now question is 10A and 10B are roots of this quadratic. We have to find the value of this. Okay, now if 10A, 10B are roots of this, I think we can find 10A plus B directly, because 10A plus B formula is 10A plus 10B. So sum of roots, that is 10/3 upon 1 minus 10A 10B, that is 1 minus product of root, that will be minus, so it will become plus 25/3. Okay, so this gives us 3 will get cancelled, so 10/28, that is 5/40. That is the value of 10A plus B. Now for this expression, what I will do, I will take cos square A plus B common, and then it will become 310 square. I'll write in shortcut 3t square, that is 10 square, minus 10 into 10 minus 25. Okay, where the value of 10 is 5/40. We can put the value and we'll get the answer. Okay, in fact, this is factorized. 25 into 3 is minus 75. Okay, and here I think for minus 75, this was minus 25 minus 10. Yeah, minus 75, how we can make it? 15 into 5 now, 15 into 5. So minus 15 plus 5. So this will be factorized as 3t plus 5, one factor, and t minus 5. Actually, after breaking into factors, I think this substitution will be a bit easier. Let us first check the factors. 3t square minus 15t plus 5t, okay, that's correct. And this cos square, I can write it as secant square in the denominator, and that is actually 1 plus 10 square. Okay, now we just need to put the values of 10. So 5, we will put it here, so it will be 15/14 plus 5 in the one bracket, first bracket, and then 5/14 minus 5 in the second bracket, divided by, it is 1 plus 25/196. So this becomes, I think, 196 in numerator and denominator will get cancelled. We are having 14 into 5, 70, plus 15, so 85, and here it will be minus 65. Okay, and this is 196 plus 220, 196 plus 25, and this is 221. Okay, so 17, 5 the 85, and 17 cancels, I think, this 13 times. And 13 cancel this minus 5 times, so we get answer to be minus 25. That is C for this question. Okay. Yeah, I just want to confirm the answer. Just see. For the system of linear equation, we have to find when it will have unique solution, when it will not have unique solution. So these three equations, if I calculate the value of d for the discriminant, sorry, not discriminant, determinant actually here. So that is 1, -2, 0, and 1, -1, k, and here it is 0, k, and 4. Okay. If we want unique solution, then this should not be equal to 0. Let us first try to find the value of this. We can use a property also here. Maybe I can make this as 0. The first row I will keep as it is. For the second row, it will be 0, it will be 1, and it will be k. What I have done actually, R2 minus R1. R2 we have changed as R2 minus R1. So yeah, that's right. And 0, k, and 4. Now we can open it. We are getting, it is 4 minus k square. Okay. Now this not equal to 0 means k is neither equal to 2 nor equal to -2. Okay. And if you want this to be 0, that means k is either 2 or -2. Okay. If we want this to be not equal to 0, so k cannot take two values. Other than two values, it can take any values. And these are values 2 and -2. Okay. So here, if we look at these options, the first option says unique solutions if k is not equal to 2, k is not equal to -2. So that is correct option. So in these options A, B, C, D, I think A is there. So I think B and C will focus on. Now system has unique solution is if k is equal to -2. That is definitely wrong. Okay. So with A, I think, or B was not there. System has unique solution for k is equal to 2. I think for 2 also we cannot have unique solution. Okay, so I think we are left with D and E. System has no solution if k is equal to 2. Okay, and system has infinite solutions if k is not equal to -2. Okay, now please see this E seems again wrong. Why? Because if k is not equal to -2, okay, suppose k takes some other value than -2, let's say 0, then also your D is not equal to 0. So it will have a unique solution. It cannot have infinite solution. So mere saying that k is not equal to -2 doesn't guarantee you will have infinite solutions. So this is also wrong. So my only option that is left now is D, because there are two options they are saying. So with A, D should be correct option. Let us check that also. System has no solution for k is equal to 2. Now if you take k is equal to 2, these two equations, if you see, they will become x minus y plus 2z is equal to -2, and this will become 2. I will divide by 2 also. So 2y will become y here, and 2z here after dividing by 2, and equal to 3 here. Okay. Now first equation was x minus 2y. So if I subtract this equation 1 from 2, I think we will be getting x minus 2y is equal to -5. Okay, but this equation is saying x minus 2y is equal to 1. So even if you try to solve for next two equations, or you modify next two equations, what you are getting is the contradiction of what is given in the first equation. That means for k equal to 2, we will not have any solution. So D is also correct. So my correct option for this question will be A and D only. That is C. Yeah. The intersection of three lines is a equilateral triangle, right triangle, isosceles triangle. So here you can see the slopes are 1, -2, and -half. Okay. Now we can identify whether it's equilateral or not. First of all, it cannot be equilateral because your slopes are rational numbers. So if you use formula of 10 a minus b, okay, you cannot get it equal to √3. Why? Because 10a will be 1, 10b will be -2. So if you take the difference, divide by those rational numbers, I think you cannot get √3. So this equilateral triangle is ruled out. And also from the slopes, we can say no two slopes are having product equal to -1. So right angle triangle is also ruled out. Now the only option left is either isosceles or maybe none of these also. Now for that, what we can see, the angle between these two, we'll use m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2. Okay, for these two, 1 minus -2 will be 3 here, and this will be 1 minus 2 here. So that gives you -3. So acute angle will be given by acute tan theta is equal to 3. Similarly, if I use angle between these two, first and last, that will be 1 plus 1 upon 2 upon 1 minus 1 upon 2. You can use same formula here. This is giving you, I think, 3. So you can see the magnitude of angle between both these lines, between this and this, and between this and this, they are same 3. tan theta for both of them is 3. So this has to be isosceles triangle. Okay, and also I'll tell you from symmetry also you can see this is a line which is actually angle bisector of first quadrant, whereas slopes here are -2 and -half. So if you can see, please see this is slope 1, this is slope -1. Okay, now -2 slope will be somewhere here and -half slope will be somewhere here with the same angle making with this -1. Okay, so if these lines are making same angle with -1, I think they will be making same angle with this also. These lines are not passing through origin, so this is not correct diagram. This diagram is just to show you how they are making equal angle with this line. Okay, they will be shifted to some other point, so they will form a triangle, but these angles will remain same. Hence, this is going to be isosceles triangle. You can also do this question with the help of finding sides length. I think this is done here. Here you have found the point of intersection. Then also you can do it. Number of integral values of m for which this has no real root. Integral values we have to find. No real root means it's this is quadratic. Its d has to be negative. So b square, that is 4 into 1 plus 3m square minus 4 into 1 plus m square into 1 plus 8m. This has to be negative, not even equal to 0. Now 4 can be cancelled because it's a positive quantity and it is same in both of them. Then if you open it, you get 1 plus 9m square plus 6m minus this product will be 1 plus 8m plus m square plus 8m cube. That should be less than 0. This was m square here. Yeah. So 1 is cancelled here. So we are now left with a cubic with minus 8m cube leading term, then minus m square plus, so it is 8m square, and this is minus 2m, I think. Yeah, that should be less than 0. I take minus m common outside, or rather 2m common outside, so it becomes 4m square minus 4m plus 1 less than 0. Now you can see this is a perfect square actually. This is 2m minus 1 whole square. Now the solution for this will be actually infinitely many, because if I draw, I think this, if I remove this minus sign, I think this will become m into 2m minus 1 whole square greater than 0. If we remove that minus sign and 2 from there, it will become like this. So you are having two critical points. It is one is 0, one is half. The sign will be changing like this, plus, plus and minus. So you can see for all values that are negative, 1 minute, we are looking for now positive. So yeah, so if we are looking for positive, so all positive values of m is going to satisfy it, and hence there will be infinitely many integral values that is going to satisfy it. So hence answer for this will be infinitely many. I think from here also m is negative, m is positive, then it will satisfy. Yeah, correct. So infinitely many will be the answer of this question. See, the number of 7-digit integer with sum of digits equal to 10 and formed by using 1, 2 and 3 only. When they are saying using 1, 2, 3 only, you may skip one of them, but other than 1, 2, 3 you cannot use. So what are the options? Please see. If we are looking for 7-digit, and if I try to use maximum number of ones, I think maximum number of ones can be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because 7th digit has to be such that your sum becomes 10. So it has to be 4. So here we are having 6 ones and 1 fours. Okay, but 4 is not allowed. So I think this option is ruled out. Okay. Now next option would be when I use 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 ones, then 2 digits, remaining 2 digits should have sum equal to 5. So for that sum to be 5, I think we should have 2 and 3 only, because already we have taken 5 ones, and for 2 remaining digits, if sum has to be 5, only option is 2, 3. Now these we can permute also. That will be done in 7 factorial upon, I think, 5 factorial. That will give you 42. 7 into 6, that's it, 42. Then I can take one more less time, means 1 4 time only. Then for next 3 digits, 1, 2, 3, 3 digits, your sum has to be 6. Your sum has to be 6. And that is only possible because 1 we will not use, because we have already taken 4 times 1. So if you want sum to be 6 from 3 digits, in which 2 or 3 can be used, I think this is only possible if you take all 3 digits to be 2, 2, 2. because even if you take 1, 3, another 2, your sum will exceed this 6. So this is the only possibility for this scenario. 7 factorial upon 4 factorial and 3 factorial. I think that is 7C3 only. That is 7 into 6 into 5 upon 3 factorial. So this gives you 35. I think there is no other possibility, because if you bring 1 only 3 times, then for next 4 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, your sum has to be 7. You want sum to be 7. Okay. And if you want sum to be 7, wait. I think it is possible, because we can use 3 also now. No? Yeah, we can use 3 also. 1, 1, 1, 3 times, and remaining sum has to be 7. So if I use 2 3 times and 3 1 times, wait. No, it is not possible. What am I doing? Sorry. Actually, 4 digits, even if you use all 2, then it will become 8. So this is not possible. Okay. See, I have made the cases as per the occurrence of 1. So 5 times, 6 times 1, 5 times 1, 4 times 1, 3 times 1. So if 3 times 1, then I will not be using 1 again. Then it will be one of these earlier cases. So I will be only considering those numbers which are other than 1. So even if you take smallest possible options like 2 for this, your sum will become 8. So you cannot get sum equal to 7. Hence, this again gives you no possibility. So 0 will be the answer for this. Okay. So total becomes, I think, 42 from here and 35 from here. So it becomes 77. So answer for this question will be C. Coming to next question, that is 35. We are given these are coplanar, then we have to find the possible values of lambda, sum of possible values of lambda. I think we just need to make the determinant equal to 0. And which determinant? Let us make this as the starting point, A, B, C and D. So first row, I will be writing vector AB. Okay, so first row AB vector means it will be 7 minus 1, 6, 5 minus 5, 0, 5 minus 35, that is minus 30. Then AC, I'll take second row as AC. That means it will be 1 minus 1, 0, then lambda minus 5, and 7 minus 35, I think it is 28. And then AD. AD means it will be 2 lambda minus 1, and 1 minus 5, that is minus 4, and 2 minus 35 is minus 33. And this determinant should be equal to 0 if we want these 4 points to be coplanar. That's it. I think we can make one more 0 here. Either here or here. Yeah, maybe here I can make it 0. I just need to multiply C1 by 5 and add to C3. 5 times C1, if added to C3, will give you 1 0 here. And what will be my new determinant then? First column will be same, 6, 0, 2 lambda minus 1. Second column will also be same, no change, minus 4. For this one, I think it will be 0. It will be minus 28 only. And for this, it will be 10 lambda minus 5 and minus 38, I think this will become, and that is equal to 0. Now we can open in the first row, it gives you lambda minus 5, 6, we can ignore also, then 10 lambda minus 38, okay, into minus actually, minus this will be 1, 1, 2 equal to 0. Okay, now please see, this is a quadratic with the leading coefficient positive. So its graph will be upward parabolic for these two terms I am talking about, having two real roots, 5 and 38 by 10. Okay, if you subtract by 112, then this quadratic in this bracket will also have real roots. Why I am saying? Because if this quadratic was this, let us say, then you are decreasing the values by 112. So this graph will go down. That means this parabola will have real root for sure. So we just need sum of roots. So that's why I am not finding the roots. I will only find the sum of roots. And for sum of roots, we don't need constant term. I just need leading term and the coefficient of lambda. So from that, we will get sum to be equal to, in fact, sum of roots for this or sum of roots for entire thing will be same. You can check. Okay, that will be 5 plus 38 by 10. You can check. That is 50 plus 38. That is 88 by 10. So 44 by 5. Answer will be A. Okay. Moving to the next question. 36. We are given R is equal to PQ, such that P and Q are the same distance from the origin. Okay. And this is a relation. Then we have to find the equivalent class of 1 comma minus 1. Equivalent class is actually set of all those ordered pairs which are connected among themselves with equivalent relation. That means they should be having reflexive relation, symmetric relation, as well as transitive relation. Now, if this is one of the point, 1 comma minus 1, that will be, I think, here. Okay, its distance from origin is, I think, root 2. Now, if I make a circle like this, taking center at origin, all these points, now you can check, let's say this is alpha, beta, and let us say this is gamma, delta. Now you can see all points are connected with themselves because they are at the distance, same distance from the origin. P comma P, I think we can say P, whatever distance P is at from origin, another P is also from the same distance. So obviously all points are connected with themselves. Now if this is P and this is Q, then QP is also connected. So this relation will be symmetric. Now if P connected to Q, P is related to Q, and Q is related to R, then P will be related to R also, because if these two are having same distance from origin and these two are having same distance from origin, then this R and P will also have same distance from origin. So that means it will be transitive also. So all the points lying on this circle whose radius is root 2, will be having equivalent relation with all the points here. So equivalent class is given by this x square plus y square is equal to 2. Okay, moving to the next question. In an increasing GP, the sum of second and sixth term is 25 by 2. Okay, so second and sixth term, sum is equal to 25 by 2. Okay, and the product of third and fifth, in fact, product of third and fifth and product of second and sixth are same. Okay, because from third to second and fifth to sixth, you can say same difference from both towards both ends. So their product will be same, and that is equal to 25. So to find the second term and sixth term, I think I can make a quadratic like this: x square minus sum of roots plus product of roots equal to 0. Okay, I think we can split the terms. Let us first multiply by 2, x square minus 25x plus 50 equal to 0. So product of these two is 100. To make this product 100, I think 20 into 5 will be fine. So 20 and 5 minus 20 minus 5. So the factors would be 2x minus 5 as one factor and x minus 10 as another factor. Okay, so this gives you the value of x to be either 5 by 2 or 10. Now because it's an increasing GP, I will call this as T2 and I will call this as T6. Okay, now they're asking sum of 4th, 6th and 8th term. If T2 to T6, these were to have the two values, I think we can find common ratio. The ratio of these two will be R power 4, that is 10 divided by 5 by 2. That is, I think, 4. So your R square is actually coming out to be 2. R will be root 2. Why I am putting R square? Because they are talking of only eventh term, like 4th term. T2 is 5 by 2. So T4 will be R square times this. So it will be 5. Similarly, T6, I think we have found T6 already. So it is T, and that is 10. And then T8, once again, multiply by 2 to this T6, we will get T8. Now they are asking the sum of these three. So 10 plus 5 plus 20 is how much? 15 plus 20, I think 35. Yeah, 35. So answer for this should be D. Let x and y be a conic. I think this very clearly, that's a parabola. I think if you eliminate t from this, we get y equal to x upon 2 whole square divided by 3, which gives you x square is equal to 12y. Okay, and I think this is the upward parabola like this. Tangent at x-axis at origin like this. This is the axis, this is the tangent at vertex. Next they are saying S is a focus and B is a point on the axis of conic. So focus will be somewhere here, that is 0, 3. Okay, and there is a point somewhere B, something like this, such that B is a point on the axis of the conic such that SA is perpendicular to BA, where A is any point on the conic. Okay, so this BS is going to subtend 90 degree at this point A, which we can take as 2t comma t square upon 3. Okay, so this angle is 90 here, and they are saying K is the coordinate of centroid of SAB, then as T approaches to 1, what should be the value of K? K is the ordinate actually. So we have to find the y coordinate of the centroid of this triangle. Now please see, if I take as 0 comma beta, let us say, okay, then because this angle is 90 degree, we can find the slopes of these two lines, okay, and their product should be -1. Or you can think of this SB, if I take as diameter, that circle should pass through A. Okay, now if I go with that approach in which BS are taken as the diametric ends of a circle, equation of that circle will be x minus 0, so x squared plus y minus 3, y minus beta is equal to 0. Now this circle should have this point A. So I put x as 2t, it will be 4t square plus, in place of y, I will put t square by 3 minus 3, and in place of this y again, I will put t square by 3 minus beta equal to 0. Okay, now we are asking to find the value of k, and what is k here? Let me write it here. K is just the sum of y coordinates, so that is t square by 3 plus beta plus 3 whole divided by 3. Now please listen carefully. Here they are asking the limit as t approaching to 1. I don't think there is any 0 upon 0 form, because you can see here it is 3 only. If I put t as 1, this will be 1 upon 3 plus 3, and whatever beta value you are getting, I think this is not going to be 0 upon 0 form. So even if I put t equal to 1, my limit is going to be the same. That is one of the method of limits that is called as direct substitution. So what I will do, I will put t is equal to 1 here, which will give you 4 plus 1 by 3 minus 3. So I think minus 8 by 3. 3 3 is a 9. So 1 minus 9 minus 8 by 3. And that is 1 upon 3 minus beta. And that is equal to 0. Okay. I think, yeah, let me take this slide a little above. Okay. So I can keep this that side. 4 equal to 8 by 3 into 1 upon 3 minus beta. 3 will go that side, so it will be 12 upon 8. So I think it will become 3 upon 2 equal to 1 upon 3 minus beta, gives you beta equal to 1 upon 3 minus 3 upon 3. 1 upon 3 minus 3 upon 2, that is 2 minus 9, that is 7 upon 6. So beta is coming out to be minus 7 upon 6. And now we are looking for the centroid. Okay, what was that expression? T square by 3. I'll use it here. K was t square by 3, t was 1. Okay, 1 upon 3 plus beta. Beta is minus 7 upon 6. Minus 7 upon 6 and plus 3 whole divided by 3. So that is the value of k. Let us take 6 as LCM. So in the denominator we will have now 18. This will be 2. Yeah, 6 LCM we have taken. So 2 minus 7 plus I think 18. Yeah, 18. 18 plus 2, 20. 20 minus 7 is 13 by 13 upon 18. Answer seems 13 upon 18. I think it is given in option number D also. So that should be the answer. D. Okay. Yeah, D is the answer. Moving to the next question, that is question number 39. The distance of the point having position vector from the straight line passing to this parallel to this vector. Okay. Now please see how this question can be done. We are given a point here whose position vector is -1, 2, 6. I can get this in the form of Cartesian form also. -1, 2, 6. And this is a line that is passing through a point 2, 3, -4. Okay. And it is parallel to, this line is parallel to the vector 6, 3, -4. Direction ratios we can write like this. Okay. We are asked to find this perpendicular distance D. Okay. So one method can be that we find the point of perpendicular, foot of perpendicular, and then take the distance formula. Or we can do one more thing. We can take the projection of this vector on this line. Suppose this point is P, this point is Q. Okay. Then my PQ vector would be, I think 2 minus 1, so 3 I cap, 2 minus minus 1, so 3 I cap, and 3 minus 2, so 1 j cap, and minus 4 minus 6, so minus 10 k cap. That is the PQ vector, and that vector, let us say, is A along this straight line, that is equal to 6 I cap plus 3 j cap minus 4 k cap. Okay, now if you take the projection, this point is, let us say, M, then MQ is nothing but the projection, that will be equal to PQ dot A upon mod of A. Okay, so PQ dot A is what? 6 into 3, 18 plus 3 plus 40 whole divided by under root of is 36 plus 9 plus 16. 36 plus 9 is 45, 45 plus 16 is, I think, 61. So root 61. This becomes, I think this is also 61. So this MQ is coming out to be root 61. And we know PQ, and then Pythagoras theorem will give you this distributive. What is this PQ? I think it is nothing but magnitude of this PQ, that is hundreds plus 9 plus 1, that is root 110. 110. So the D value will be equal to under root of 110 minus square of 61. I think this is 49. So this becomes equal to 7. Okay. I think I did one question similar to this in our previous paper, where I found this perpendicular distance using cross product. That is also one method. You just need to take cross product of PQ with this vector A and divide it by mod A. That will also give you the same answer. You can check. What I'm saying, PQ cross product with A upon mod of A, mod of this also, okay, will give you same D. Okay, because PQ cross A magnitude would be mod of PQ mod of A into sine theta, and mod A will cancel. So PQ sine theta is nothing but D. So from that method also you can find it. Question number 40, we are asked to find the limit here. Okay, so if you look at this expression, limit h approaches to 0. If I multiply by 2 outside, one more 2 outside, this will become root 3 upon 2 into sine of pi by 6 plus h minus 1 upon 2 cos of pi by 6 plus h divided by root 3 into h into root 3 cos h minus sine h. Now please see, if I take root 3 upon 2 as cos pi by 6, 1 upon 2 as sine pi by 6, okay, this as cos pi by 6, this is sine pi by 6. I think this is becoming a formula of sine A minus B, and I think it is now becoming a very simple thing, 4 times sine of h only, sine A minus B, pi by 6 will get cancelled. In the denominator you are having h, and after that whatever you are having, you can write the value of h is equal to 0 here, root 3 in cos h. If I put 0, it will be just root 3 into 1. Okay, this is anyways 0 only, so that is what we are left with. Sin h upon h is 1, so we get answer to be 4 upon 3. Is there any option? Yeah, C is the answer for this question. Other methods you can try, but I think that is the best method. You can try LH also, but this would be better. Range of A for which the function has critical points. Okay, critical points means derivative is equal to 0 or derivative is not defined. Here it is a x linear term, and here cot x by 2 sin x by 2. Okay, and x is not equal to 2n pi, so that cot remains defined. Okay, so we will not talk about these points where x is becoming 2n pi. So other than that, we will see for what value of A we can have critical points. So let us find the derivative there. So differentiation would be 4a minus 3 common constant actually, and differentiation of this is just 1. Okay, now before I do the differentiation, let us solve it. This cot x by 2 is actually cos upon sine, so one sine will cancel with this sine, and I take this 2 also. I think we get 2 cos x by 2 into sine x by 2 remaining, which is actually sine x. Okay, so plus a minus 7 into sine x. That's it. Okay, so we will now differentiate it to check whether it has a critical point or not. So that equal to 0 means my value of sine x will be equal to 4a minus 3 upon a minus 7. Okay, now because this is sine x is equal to this thing, that means its mod has to be less than 1. a minus 7, its mod should be less than or equal to 1. Then only you can have some real values of x where your f dash x will become equal to 0. So this will be 4a minus 3 mod less than or equal to a minus 7 mod. You can do the squaring both sides, bring that bracket on the left hand side, it will become a square minus b square, that is 4a minus 3 whole square minus a minus 7 whole square less than or equal to 0. A plus b, if you do, I think it will be 5a minus 10, one bracket, and 3a plus 4 other bracket less than or equal to 0. So for that solution will be, I think from Davy-Curve method, minus 4 by 3 comma minus 4 by 3 comma 2 close bracket close bracket. Okay, now you can see if it is closed bracket, okay, in that case I think this will become equal to 1, and I think sin x is equal to 1 is possible. I think my problematic thing was that x should not be equal to 2 and pi. So sin x will be 0 there if this becomes like that. In fact, if you consider sin x equal to 0, I think x a will be equal to 3 by 4. I think a should not be equal to 3 by 4 here, because if a is 3 by 4, sin x will be okay. I think that is also not a problem, because we can have x to be equal to n pi, because they are saying x is not equal to 2 n pi because of this cot. But for n pi where n is odd number, I think sin x can become equal to 0 and this a can be equal to 3 by 4. So I think 3 by 4 is also okay. So for this question, I think answer would be minus 4 by 3 comma 2, that is C. If the local maximum value of this function is k upon e, we have to find this expression. Please see this function, we can write it as e raised to the power sine square x into ln of root 3 e. I think e is also inside root upon 2 sine x. Okay, by taking log. Okay, now we have to find the local maximum, so I will be differentiating it first. F dash x will be equal to e raised to the power, this entire thing will be as it is, sine square x into ln of, I'm just marking bracket, into, then chain rule. First you differentiate sine square x, that is 2 sine x cos x, into ln of, I think I can write it as root 3 e, okay, minus ln of 2 sine x also, okay, and plus then sine square x multiplied with differentiation of this. This I have modified like this. So if you differentiate it or you differentiate this thing, it's the same thing. For ln root 3e, differentiation will be 0. For this, differentiation would be 1 upon 2 sine x into 2 cos x. You can check. For ln, differentiation 1 upon 2 sine x. For 2 sine x, differentiation 2 cos x. I think 2 gets cancelled. Not required to write it here. And we want this to be equal to 0 actually. Then we will be able to find the point of maxima or minima. Okay. This thing in the beginning which I am writing can be written back to what they have given as fx. Okay. And after that, what we are getting, I think this is 2 sine x cos x. And if you multiply the sine square x with the sine x, I think this square is cancelling. Okay. So we are here having sine x cos x. I think we are here also we are getting 2 sine x cos x common. So let us take sine x into cos x common, and then this 2 will be multiplied with this 2 into ln of, I can write it as root 3 plus, for root e it will be 1 upon 2. Okay, I have multiplied this 2 with this thing which is ln of root 3 plus ln of root e which is 1 upon 2 minus this 2 will be multiplied with this which is 2 ln 2 sine x. Okay, and what is here, because sin x cos x is gone common, so minus 1 only. Okay, so you can see this 1 is actually getting cancelled here. So this is the derivative. Let us do further calculation, fx into sin x cos x, and what is left here, I think this bracket, we can bring 2 also common here, so this will be ln root 3 minus ln 2 sin x. Okay, the range of x they are given they have given 0 to pi by 2, open bracket, which means neither sin x can become equal to 0 nor cos x can become equal to 0. So we can have critical point from this thing only. So if I make this thing equal to 0, if I make this thing equal to 0, okay, this thing equal to 0, then we will be getting, I think, 2 sin x. We will be getting 2 sin x is equal to root 3, which gives x is equal to pi by 3 as the critical point. In fact, you can check for 0 to pi by 2, because this function is like that, it will always be positive. Sin x is positive, cos x is positive. So in my this line, which is from 0 to pi by 2, the only critical point is pi by 3, and you can put numbers greater than pi by 3 here, then this thing will become negative, and here it will become positive, which means this is going to have point of maxima at pi by 3, maxima point at pi by 3. Okay, so if it is maximum at pi by 3, I think maximum value which they are saying is k upon, they are saying k upon e. K upon e. That maximum value would be, we just need to put pi by 3 in place of x. So it will be root 3e upon, I think, 2 sine pi by 3, that is root 3 here, whole power sine square x, that is 3 upon 4. This root 3 is cancelled here. So we are getting k upon e to be equal to, I think, e power 3 upon 4. 3 upon 8, because that root is also there. So 3 upon 8. Okay. Now I will use this in the next slide. K upon e is 3 upon 8. Then they are asking, let us do it here. K upon e was e power 3 by 8. So power 8 will make it 3. This I can write it as, suppose I will write it as k upon e power 8 into e cube, because it is power 5 here. Plus here also k upon e power 8 into e power 8. Now because k upon e power 8 is e cube, which we have used from there. So e cube plus e power 6 plus e power 11 will be the answer. I think answer is already revealed here. E cube plus e power 6 plus e power 11. That is the answer here. Okay. Moving to the question number 43. A, B, C, 3 distinct real number, none equal to 1 if the vectors are coplanar. One more question on coplanarity. I think here we can write this as A, 1, 1, 1, B, 1, and 1, 1, C to be equal to 0. Now, if we want a relation that is in terms of 1 minus A, 1 minus B, 1 minus C, so I will use a property and then I will open it. I will keep first row as it is, 1, A, 1, 1. Second row I will subtract from row 1. So it will be 1 minus A, B minus 1 and 0. Likewise, 1 minus A, 0 and C minus 1, and that is equal to 0. Now you can open it along any row or column you want. I think we can use last column. It will give you 1 into, this will give you 1 into, I think 0 minus this thing. It will become 1 minus A into 1 minus B. You can check, there was 1 minus sign, and I have changed B minus 1 also, so it is now 1 minus B. Okay, for 0 it will be 0, and then it is C minus 1, and that will be multiplied with, I think, A into B minus 1 minus 1 minus A, and that is equal to 0. Now divide the entire equation by 1 minus A, 1 minus B, 1 minus C. So this will become 1 upon 1 minus C plus these two things. If you divide by 1 minus A, 1 minus B, 1 minus C, I think it will give you A upon 1 minus A. And the last thing will give you 1 upon 1 minus B. You can check the signs. So this minus sign will make this 1 minus C. So this will be 1 upon 1 minus B equal to 0. But we are looking for 1 here, not A. So what I will do, I will change this by writing 1 minus A upon 1 minus A. Like that we can write. And then you can see this thing will become sigma 1 upon 1 minus A. And because of this 1 minus A upon this minus 1 equal to 0. Sigma means 1 upon 1 minus A, 1 upon 1 minus B, and 1 upon 1 minus C. So this sum is going to be equal to 1. So answer for this question will be D. Okay. Moving to the next question, 44. let PQRS be 4 points on the ellipse and let PQRS be mutually perpendicular. Now, first of all, this ellipse is x square upon 4 plus y square upon 9 is equal to 1. It will be actually a vertical looking ellipse like this. Okay. Now, this P point will be somewhere in the first quadrant. In fact, if you look at that, look at those coordinates, you can see this angle is actually 60 degrees. Okay, because the slope of OP, you can check, it is coming out to √3. So this angle is 60. Now what they are saying, PQ, RS are 4 points. Let PQ and RS are mutually perpendicular and they pass through origin like this. So P with Q, this is Q here, with R, this is S here. Okay, then they are asking 1 upon PQ square plus 1 upon RS square. Okay, now please see, if this is 60, I think this will be 30 from here. Okay, we know already PQ because PQ is just 2 times of OP. We know coordinate of P. So if we can find coordinate of R, I think we are done. Now to do this, what I will do, because this angle will be 30 degrees from here, I can consider the coordinate of this to be like x coordinate I can consider to be, I think, minus √3 alpha and y coordinate to be alpha, so that slope is minus 1 upon √3. Its slope should be minus 1 upon √3. So incorporating this slope, taking like this will make your calculation easier. Otherwise, you can take in parametric form also, but that will not be very useful. Now please see what we are actually now finding. This thing will be actually equal to, please see, 1 upon 4 into OP square. Okay, and this will be 1 upon 4 into OR square, because PQ is 2 times OP whole square if you do, so 4 times, similarly 4 times here. Now OP square can be found using the distance formula. Okay, in fact, let us find OP square separately here. OP square would be 2 into 2, 4 into 3, 12 upon 7 plus 36 upon 7. That becomes 48 upon 7 here. In fact, if I find OR square, you can see it will be 4 alpha square. We just need to find alpha and I think we are done. Okay, so let us put these values here. So 1 upon 4 into 48. 4 into 48 into 7 here. Okay, plus. And let us find alpha also here, because this point should satisfy this ellipse. Okay, so I'll put it here. So 3 into 9, 27 alpha square plus 4 alpha square is equal to 36. From there, we get alpha square to be equal to 36 upon 30. 3 into 9, 27 and 4 into alpha square, so equal to 36. So alpha square is equal to 36 upon 31. So that we will put it here and I think we get the answer. 1 upon 4 into 36 into 31. Maybe we should take some common. 12 into 4. 12 into 4 is 48. Yeah. So that will be 3, 4 remaining here and 3 remaining here. 7 upon 4 plus 31 upon 3. We take the LCM, 12 here, 48 here. So 7 into 3 is 21 plus 4 into this, so 124 I think. This becomes 145 upon 48 into 12. Anything wrong we have done? Because 4 here, 4 here. Okay. OR square was 4 alpha square. OR square was 4 alpha square. So there will be extra 4 here. There will be extra 4 here. That means we will be having so that for extra 4 here, alpha square I have put as 36 upon 31. So for extra 4, I think we will have 4 into 3, 12. Already 12 will be here. If it is 12 here, so we will be getting, after taking 12 as LCM, that will be 21 plus 31. 21 plus 31 is, I think, 52. So that 4 will cancel. So that will be 13 here Okay, and 4 will cancel. This is only 12, not that thing. So 48 into 3. 48 into 3 is 144. Yeah. So that will be 13 upon 144. So answer for that should be 157. You can check. Yeah, B is the answer. Coming to the next question, I think that's the last single correct question. They're saying the fourth term in the binomial expansion is equal to 200 and x greater than 1. Then we have to find the value of x. Okay. So fourth term means it is t3 plus 1. It will be 6c3 into, for first term, which is x raised to the power 1 upon 2 into 1 plus log x base 10. Under root is like power 1 by 2 multiplied to this. So I have written like this. And this entire thing will be having power 3 here, and x power 1 by 12 will also have power 3 here. And this is equal to 200 they are giving. 6c3 is 20. So this will cancel it at 10 times. So these two will cancel. It will be 10 there. Now, what is the power of x? Let us check. So for x, the power is here 3 upon 2, 1 upon 1 plus log x base 10. I am writing capital L here, and plus 3 by 12. That is 1 upon 4. That is 1 upon 4. And that is equal to 10 here. Okay, I will take log to the base 10. Okay, log to the base 10 means this thing will be multiplied 3 upon 2, 1 upon 1 plus log plus 1 upon 4, and it will be multiplied with log x base 10, which I have written as capital L, and on the right hand side it will be just 1. So we have to solve this. I think it is going to become a quadratic. Yeah. Inside the bracket, if you take 4 into 1 plus L as LCM, that will be 6 here plus 1 plus L here into L is equal to 1. This will go that side, and here we will be having L square plus 7L. And on the right hand side it will be 4 plus 4L. We get L square plus 3L minus 4 equal to 0. Its roots are, I think, one is 1 and other is minus 4. L was actually log x base 10. Log x base 10. Okay. So we are getting log x base 10 to be equal to 1 or minus 4. Okay. For minus 4, the value will be less than 1, but we are looking for x greater than 1. So only this value will be taken, and for this x will be equal to 10. So answer for this will be B. Okay. Moving to the next question, I think first integer answer. Total number of 3 into 3 matrix A having entries from 0, 1 to 3 such that sum of all the diagonal entries of A, 80 is 9. Okay. Now please see, if you are having A as, let us say, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay. Then A transpose becomes equal to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay. Then A into A transpose, if you do, okay, and sum of all the diagonal elements, that is also called as trace, means I need to consider only those terms which are at 1, 1 position, 2, 2 position, 3, 3 position. First row, first column, you can see it is A square plus B square plus C square. That is 1, 1 element of A into 80. Then second row, second column, it is B square plus E square plus F square. Then G square plus H square plus I square. Okay, that means it is sum of squares of all the elements of A which are taken from 0, 1, 2, 3 set. Now, which element is to be taken at how many times? That is what we have to consider, and then I think we are done. So, case 1 could be, and this is actually equal to how much? This is equal to 9. Okay. So, let us try to take 3 as many times as you can take. So, first will be, I think 3 can be taken at most once only, isn't it? And if 3 is taken, I think sum of square of it will be already 9. All other 8 element has to be, 0, 0, 0, 0. That is the case 1. And this, in this 3 can be permuted. So total number of cases would be, I think, 9 factorial upon 8 factorial. It will be 9 here. Now case 2, in which, now I will not take 3, but I will try to take 2 as many times as we can take. So I think maximum you can take 2 times. Because the square of 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8. So you cannot take third time 2. and then you will have to take 1 once. So 4 plus 4 plus 1, that will become 9, and remaining elements will be 0. So out of 9, you can see you are having 6 times 0 and 2 times 2. So that will be 9 into 8 into 7. 6 factorial will get cancelled upon 2. That becomes 9 into 8 by 2 is 36. 36 into 7. 36 into 7, how much? Is it 252? 9 into 8 is 72. 72 by 2 is 36. 18 into 7, 126. Yeah, I think that's right. 7, actually this is 36 into 7. Yeah, 252 is right. Okay, 252 is right. And then what is the case, possible case? The next possible case could be when I take 2 only once. Then because it is 2 square 4, so I have to take 5 times 1. So that 5 plus 4 is 9. Already 5 plus 1, 6 elements are taken. So 3 zeros will be taken. And in this case, total numbers would be, I think, 9 factorial upon 1 5 times and 0 3 times. So that will be the number of permutations for these numbers. So it becomes 9 factorial, that is 9 into 8 into 7 into 6. 5 factorial will get cancelled. Yeah. And 3 factorial is 6. So 6 also cancel this. I think this is just double of this, isn't it? 9, 8, 7. So it will be, I think, 4, not 4, 504. 504. 504. I think there is one more case possible when we are not taking any 2, we are taking only 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all ones. Then also sum of squares will be 9, and then that is just one case, because there is no permutation possible other than that, all 1, 1, 1, 1. So what is the answer? Case 1, we are getting answer as 9. Okay, 9 plus 2, 52 plus 504 plus 1. 9 plus 1, 10, and that will be 700 and 5 plus 2, 756, 66, I think. 2 plus 4, 6, 5 plus 0, 5 plus, I think, yeah. So 766 will be the answer of this question. Find the integral. Okay, then k is equal to, here we can break this first from 0 to 1, so that mod inside will be written as 1 minus x, because then x is between 0 to 1, this mod will be, this x minus 1 will be negative. So to open this mod, we'll write it as 1 minus x dx plus, from 1 to 2, mod inside this expression x minus 1 itself is positive, so we will write it as x minus 1 minus x dx. Now after this, you can see first mod is actually mod of 1 minus 2x dx, whereas here we are just integrating, I think, 1. We are integrating just the 1. And this was 0 to 1. I think here we will again have to split the limit 0 to half. Then it will be 1 minus 2x, because 2x will be less than 1 for this limit, plus 1 by 2 to 1. It will be 2x minus 1. 2x minus 1. And this is just 1. Okay. In fact, at this step, instead of doing this integration, you can make diagram, and by finding the area of a triangle, you can get the answer. But I think this is also not that difficult, so let us do it here. So one integration would be x, and for this x square, limit from 0 to half. For this x square minus x, limit is from half to 1 plus 1. So from this we are getting, for x it is just 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4 for first bracket, plus for other bracket it will be, for x square alone it will be 1 minus 1 upon 4, and for that x it will be 1 minus 1 by 2 plus 1. Okay, so how much we are getting? We are getting, I think, 1 by 4 from this bracket, plus 3 by 4 from this bracket, minus half plus 1. So 1 plus 1, 2, 2 minus half is 3 by 2, and that is given to be equal to k by 2, I think. So if it is k by 2, the value of k will be equal to 3. This was k by 2, so the value of k will be 3. Answer is 3. Moving to the next 48th question. Let a point P be such that its distance from point 5, 0 is thrice the distance of P from the point minus 5 comma 0. Then the locus of point P is a circle of radius r. Then we have to find 4r square. Please see, we are given 2 points. One is minus 5 comma 0 and one is 5 comma 0. Okay, and we are given a point P which is such that its distance from this is 3 times to the distance from minus 5 comma 0. P is a point such that its distance from this point, let us say A, is thrice the distance of P from the point B, let us say. If the locus of point P is a circle, now please see, if you keep changing the location of P so that ratio remains 1:3, it will form a circle called as Apollonius circle, something like this. Okay, you can find the locus by pure coordinate geometry also. I will tell you alternate method. If we know it is a circle, I think we can assume that this line will be a diameter. In fact, let me make slightly smaller diagram, although that will not be a correct thing, but still let us make this kind of diagram. We can assume this will be the diameter. So let us call these points as x and this point as y. And you can notice one thing, that y will actually be a point that divides AB segment in the ratio 3:1. Okay, 3:1. So using section formula, we can find the coordinate of y. That will be 3 into minus 5, so minus 15 plus 5, so that will be minus 10, minus 10 upon 4, so minus 5 by 2 comma 0. Okay, and likewise we can find this x also, which will also be having same ratio, but it will be external division. So this 3 will be multiplied with this minus 5, so minus 15 and minus 5 this time. So minus 15 minus 5 minus 20 upon minus 2. So it will become 10 comma 0. You can also check from now distance. This distance is 5. Right, I think I made a wrong diagram, because 3K, if we are going to have, I think this circle should be on that side. No? Yeah. What I'm doing? One minute. Actually, the circle will be like this. Okay, then only distance from A will be 3 times. So point will be, actually the other point will be lying here. That point x which I was making there will be lying here, and this, its coordinate will be minus 10 comma 0. Now, as I told you, this y point will be here. Actually, in the diagram, new diagram, y is here. So this coordinate will be minus 5 by 2 comma 0, and this is minus 10 comma 0. And distance between these two should be the diameter, and the diameter will be equal to, you can check this minus this, I think it becomes 10 minus 5 by 2, so 15 by 2, I think 15 by 2. Okay, and they are asking 4r square. Round up to the next answer, nearest integer actually, and this is also d square, so 2r whole square. So d square would be 7.5 square. 7.5 square is 56.25. 7 8 is 56.25. So rounding off to nearest integer, I think answer will be 56. Okay. Now I was saying we can do it direct. You can do it by coordinate geometry also. Answer is 56. Please see how. I will not make diagram this time, but I will take P as h comma k. How they have done? I think they have done same way what I have done. So P as h comma k. Now we are given distance of P from A is equal to 3 times distance of P from B. This is B, this is A. Now doing the squaring, it will be h minus 5 whole square plus k square is equal to 9 times h plus 5 square plus k square. Okay, now you can open it and you can see it is an equation of circle, and from the coefficient you can find the radius, and from there you can find that 4r square. Okay, moving to the next question. Yeah, this is the question from complex number. Looks very complex. So this is equal to k and n is equal to GIF of mod of k, and then we have to find this summation. Please see how we can do it. You can convert these numbers into Euler's form. Please see, for this number here, first one, this is actually equal to, it is having mod equal to 2, and its Argument is 2 pi by 3. Please check. Real part is -1. Imaginary part is √3. So we can write it as e power 2 pi by 3 iota into 2. And also, if you want to make it further easy, I think this can be considered as first non-real cube root of unity, also omega. That will also make it easy, but I'm not doing it. I'm just writing like this. Okay. For this one, I think mod is √2 and its argument is minus pi by 4. Let's check. First quadrant, sorry, 1 on the right hand side, minus iota, downside, so it will be fourth quadrant. So minus pi by 4, 24. Here you can check it is 2 e power. I think this will be just 60 degree, pi by 3 iota, power 21 upon √2 e power iota pi by 4 power 24. Here also iota. Yeah, iota everywhere. Now you can see 3 if multiplied with this, I think it will become e power 2 pi iota. That is nothing but, sorry, it was not 3, it was 21 actually. 21. Yeah. So 21 if you multiply here, it will become e power 14 pi. That is 14 is multiple of 2 pi, so it will be just 1. So we are only having 2 power 21 from here, whereas here it will be 2 power 12 to 2 power 24. And this is again 1 only, because pi by 4, 24 multiplied, you get 6 pi. So that will be 1. Here we are going to get 2 power 21, and this is e power 7 pi, which is actually -1. Please check. E power 7 pi, cos pi plus iota, cos 7 pi plus iota sin 7 pi. So it will be -1. But this is, I think, 2 power 12 only. So here you get actually 0. So the value of k is 0, and k is 0, so n is also 0. So what we are looking for now is, if n is 0, this summation we have to find, and this summation is what? If I put j is equal to 0, and I think now it is 0 to 5. If you put j is equal to 0, you get 5 square, then 6 square, and so on. I think it goes up to 10 square. And for this, it will be starting from 5, 6, and so on, same, I think up to 10. Now how to find this square sum? I think these are only 6 numbers. You can find sum also, but I think that is not advised. Rather, what you can do, you can find sum from 1 to 10, sum of squares of numbers from 1 to 10, which will be 10, 11, 21 upon 6. Okay, which formula I have used? N into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 upon 6. And that is I am using from 1 to 10, but it is from 5 to 10. So I have to subtract the sum from 1 to 4. 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus 4 square, I will subtract. And for that it will be 4 into 5 into 9, 2n plus 1 upon 6. So that will be the sum of this thing. For this, I think it is not needed. I think it is directly sum of 6 terms of AP. So 6 upon 2 and A plus L. Okay. So I think we'll get the answer from this. So we will be getting here 6 will cancel 21 and 10. I think 5 times here and 7 times here. This 6 will cancel 2 times here and 3 times here. So what are we left with here? I think 5 into 7 into 11. 11 into 35 I will write. Minus, here we are left with 2 into 3 into 5. I think 2 into 3, 6 into 5 is 30. And here 15 into 3, 45. So that is the answer. So we are getting this, we can write it as 75, 11 into 35. Let us take 5 common. That will be 77, and 75, 5 common. So it is how much? I think 15 and 15. That will be 5 into 62, 62. So 310 seems to be the answer. Let us see if it is right or not. 310. Yeah. 310 is the answer. Coming to the last question, I think this is very easy question. You might have done such question in your books also. Now, if this kind of relation is given, we always try to interchange x with 1 upon x. What I will do, I will write x in place of 1 upon x. So this alpha into f1 of fx will come here, and a into f1 upon x will come here. This will be b into 1 upon x, and this beta into x. I have replaced x by 1 upon x. Add these two, we get a plus alpha, which is given us as 1 to fx here, plus alpha plus a, again 1, f of 1 by x equal to, for this 1 by x, if I take common, it will be beta plus b, that is given to us as 2, so 2 into 1 by x plus 2 into x. Okay, so this is what we are getting. I think we are done. We have to find x, this thing divided by x plus 1 upon x, x plus 1 upon x. So the answer is 2 for this question. Okay, I think decent paper. Some questions were a bit tricky, not very tricky. Okay, so this completes the solutioning of this paper. Okay, I hope you will like these solutions. So that's all for this paper. I'll come back for a few more papers. Till then, bye, bachcho. Take care. Thank you.